live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. It's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp.
Hey, put a little. I never get this line out the first time. It's not even good. Hey, put a little bit more in there, cowboy.
And the Bulldog.
What's your degree in?
Kicking ass and taking names.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Honestly, I'm of two minds right now.
Go on.
It's Tuesday at 3:02 Eastern Daylight Time? Standard Time. I never know which it is. But it's never mind. It's 3 o'clock. It's not what I'm two minds about. It's 3 o'clock on a Tuesday.
In football season. If that matters, I don't know.
And that tends to mean reverse AFC power rankings, which I love. Especially...
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? One guy doesn't. He emails me about it. Like, he definitely doesn't. At least one person doesn't.
I feel so slighted that I don't get that email.
Well, so it's great. It's great right now. Every week is different. The Bills lose. The Chiefs lose. Like, we'll get to it. It'll be really interesting. But I do also have what I think is a great Bills question. Mm-hmm. And we have two guests. We're not to hockey games yet. Almost.
Right.
We have Ross Tucker and also Travis Yost today.
There are hockey games, just not our hockey games.
Yeah, no, who cares?
Yet.
No, the big ones.
Hey,
Knock
it off with who cares. I'm very excited for the start. This is an important night to me. I'm not kidding. I love to watch the first night of the season.
Well, that's fine.
So don't give me who cares.
No, it's fine. A lot of people care, but it's not important.
Okay, no, that's definitely right. It's important to me, but yeah. Okay.
It's important in a certain way.
Yeah.
It's a new beginning, right?
I did not mean to pick a fight about this.
No, you haven't, believe me. I will just capitulate whenever you're ready. Or do we need Chicago to win? Is that what we're saying by important? Like, do we need Chicago to win? Are we there yet? Did Jeremy and Joe do like what the Sabres' chances of making the playoffs would be if Florida gets 1 point? You could have. I don't hate that idea. I might want to do it myself. So, what do you think? You want to go power rankings, or you want to hear my question?
I mean, not knowing the question makes it a tough question.
That's right. But you know me.
I do know you.
I think it's really good.
I genuinely, I trust that it's not going to be how much longer are we going to put up with Sean McDermott and his defense.
It is not. Hey, guys, I never listened to your show. What do you guys think about when the coach should be fired? They lost one game, parentheses one. No.
All right, hit me.
And I know I'm safe now because that guy is not listening.
I have not put a ton of thought into reverse AFC power rankings today. I only have one thought, and it's about a team that I don't want to be last. But that's thank you first.
Let's just do it.
But that's okay.
Let's do it. It's 3 o'clock. People might be tuning in for that. And I did also look up that on August 19th, Indianapolis was 16.
Wow. Yep. That tracks. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Want to see it?
I'll
Twitch?
I'll bet that was one of the first times we got wind of them, being impatient about Anthony Richardson and considering Daniel Jones as their starter. And we, I think, as a football nation, not just us in this room, made a lot of fun of that. And just look at him go.
Did you know he caught a pass Sunday?
I did not know that. I don't think I've seen less of a team that's 4-1
ever than the Colts.
Ever than the Colts.
So I had to ask Jacob Sanderson, my Colts guy, like, what is this? Richardson caught a 9-yard pass in the game against the Raiders, and I'm waiting for him to respond and explain it to me, and I'm thinking, well, how did that possibly happen? Like, I never knew about an injury. I wasn't glued to the couch, Sunday. Went to the stadium. But, like, what actually happened there? And I think the likeliest thing that could have happened is what happened. Garbage time. Richardson went in, of course. They were up by 1 million. and he threw a pass that was deflected,
And he caught it.
and he caught it and went for 9 yards. That's how it happened.
Okay.
I mean, what else were they running trick plays? Was A.D. Mitchell throwing him a pass in the fourth quarter?
Trying to get things on film for later opponents.
Oh well.
Here comes Richardson. We got to watch out for the wide receiver option pass to the quarterback.
I will get you the Bills question soon enough.
I believe
because I
you.
do think it's really interesting.
All right.
But first, now it's time for Reverse AFC Power Rankings, powered by Empire Electric. Your residential neighborhood electrician. Visit empireelectricians.com. The fact that you haven't thought about it, I think, helps because you want this to be spontaneous.
Sure, but I do have one. Who was hang on? Who was first last week?
Bills.
Okay.
Who was 16th?
Yeah, sorry.
Tennessee.
I don't understand.
Tennessee.
Okay, I don't want them to be 16.
Well, pick someone else then.
Jets. I feel, yeah. Well, I mean, the only team without a win that tracks, and they really are nowhere. I mean, maybe Aaron Glenn is a really good coach.
Maybe he's not.
And maybe he'll make it out of this season. But if they don't win some games, he's going to be in real trouble. And they're nowhere at quarterback. They're nowhere. The Titans, as much as it seems like Bill Callahan, even when they were 16 a week ago,
Brian
Callahan, thank you, Bill's the dad. He's getting fired. We had the whole thing about if he gets fired, does the dad have to quit?
I love that.
And then my son texted me.
I love that.
Like, what happens if you get fired? Or if I get fired? Do you have to, no, I was here first.
I so wish Sean McDermott's dad was on the Bills staff right now for this.
But the quarterback, this was true at the beginning of the year, even though there weren't any kind of results. A lot of the tape people out there that I follow were like, the tape is good. He's making good decisions. He's making good throws. Nobody can catch.
Ward?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
And that's back again. I think they got a guy.
I don't. Well, I don't know. I don't feel like you do. Maybe they do.
I feel pretty good about that.
About Cam Ward?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, 16, Jets?
Sure, Jets.
That's how you at least feel that good. We at least feel that good about Cam Ward, that the Jets are 16. Okay. 15.
Miami. It's over.
Wow.
It is over.
You didn't hear about the Flacco trade?
I did hear about the Flacco trade. The coach, the quarterback, there's no winning happening there ever again. It is over, all caps.
Their next playoff game is none of those guys is there.
All different people.
Is there one? Ooh, this is like that Phillies bet I made 10 years ago. Is there one player on the Dolphins who plays in their next playoff game, having not left and gone back? That's interesting. I guess I don't hate it.
I think I want to go Tennessee first. I think Miami has talent. I don't know if Tennessee does.
It's up to me. 15. Yeah, Tennessee. I'm not there on Cam Ward or any of it. You're winning games against the Cardinals by 1 point when you're scoring a touchdown off an interception you threw. Snaps off faces. Super lucky.
I'm not saying they don't have a lot of work to do.
No, you're not.
On the roster
You're not.
and all of it. And I think the coach maybe doesn't make it. But I think the QB is going to be good.
Wow, that's so interesting. You should be able to monetize that. If you like Cam Ward at all right now, what can you do with that?
Well,
how can you make money off of that, like, other than like working here and getting paid for your takes?
Yeah.
I don't know. How can you monetize that?
I don't think it tracks to an offensive rookie of the year or anything. Because they're just not going to get results because there's a lot of flaws there. But
right.
I think
that's right. You can't win that award.
He needs to survive. But I don't know. I feel like I'm trusting more than one just like film study. The guy he's got it.
Wow.
So I'm bullish on him. But
That's really amazing right now. I mean, I'm impressed, Baxter. Like, you're into right. Somebody is like in on Cam Ward right now is good. I want to think of a way to make that into something. Maybe that'll be my Bills question. Would you trade for Cam Ward? 14.
I'm going to stay on Miami. I never know, like, week to week, exactly what you mentioned this, how Jeremy hates when you do, like, who would you want to play this week, right? If that is how you do it. And I'm more thinking about who do I want to be moving forward. And to me, Miami is a boat that is sitting in the water, and it is just, the motor doesn't work, and you're just... It's foggy. There's no help is near. You're just dead. You're Fredo. You're
in the boat.
You're just on a boat, and you got no way to get anywhere, and you're hoping it doesn't like start storming because you're stuck.
Is it Neary? It's
Neary on the boat.
Neary, yeah. Spoiler alert: it's 1972 movie, but maybe you haven't seen it. Fine. I respect it. Miami. 13.
I'll go to Cleveland here.
I will go Vegas.
Vegas.
What are they? Ashton Genty. Pros. Amazing. Cons. You drafted a running back at 6 with every problem. I mean, sorry, he might be amazing, but you drafted him at 6 overall in the year 2025. In the 80s, cool.
Yeah.
Yikes. I mean, that's Pete Carroll.
It might be.
I kind of want it to go down. Tom Brady?
It might be by the time that they're on their feet and good again, he's going to be due a second contract, and good luck with that.
A better Breece Hall.
Sure.
Like what? Breece Hall is the same year as Cook. They've won nothing. He's really good, but so what? That was a second-round pick. Still, like, great idea. All right, Vegas, 12.
I'll stay on Cleveland.
Bengals. I'd rather. Do I want to say that? Would I rather be the Browns? That's tough to say.
My thing with the Bengals, they're going to get a good draft pick out of this year and have Burrow coming back. I don't know anything with the Browns going forward. They'll have draft picks because the Travis Hunter trade. They'll have the whole, we got 2 first-round picks again. They'll probably botch it based off their history. The Bengals, though, might get a silver lining out of the season. I don't know if the Browns are.
The fact that the Browns traded Flacco to the Bengals today
so cool.
Does make me want to really respect the Bengal idea here. They're pivoting to Joe Flacco.
Well, I did a whole thing this morning on ADP chasing about how, like, wouldn't any other team have traded for a quarterback by now? They were 2-0. Burrow got hurt in the second game. They were 2-0. Like, are you serious? But they're the Bengals, who don't want to spend, so they'll never do it. And then 5 minutes after we got done,
they did it.
But it's not Cousins or anything.
Yeah, right. Some version of it. I mean, they at least
did
something.
It. Yeah. Which I want to respect because nobody's really going to win that division, maybe. So if they got somebody who could keep it upright, then they might be an interesting. They're going to be the 4 seed. Somebody's going to be. We'll get to it. That's not the question, but this is also good. Somebody is going to be the 4 seed from the AFC North. And maybe the 5 will be favored on the road. All right, so Bengals or Browns?
I still would say Browns, but if you guys are on the Bengals, I'm outvoted. I think you guys got me.
Okay. What a day for Cleveland. Wow. 11. All right, Cleveland, come on.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, 11?
Right.
I do have a playoff bet on them that I thought was going to be kind of exciting if they'd won Sunday, and they maybe should have. They almost did. But, that's the loser's lament, right? Oh, if I only had won. Mm-hmm. Guess what? You didn't.
Right.
10. Okay, now this is interesting now.
Yeah.
Tier break.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. 10. I will say Jacksonville, I think. What a win. How? I mean, he's fallen down. Throwing up desperation passes. They get the flag.
Did you see him throw the ball from like 2 yards past the line of scrimmage early in the game?
Mm-hmm. First play, maybe it was. Yeah, I did.
What are you doing? And I think Warren Sharp was right there with like, he did this a year or two ago. He showed like another highlight where he like plainly like doesn't know where he is on the field. Like, dude.
Lawrence, I saw that play. It was like very early in the game. Maybe it was their first snap. And like I just put it in my head because I really never see them. And I'm like, they're right. What they're saying is correct. He's terrible. How do you not know where you are? And of course they win. Of course they win. The throw to Thomas down the right sideline late is great. And they win from there? I mean, of course they do, right? But I like every other team more, I think. Unless the Steelers. I'll say Jacksonville already did.
I think I'll go Steelers here. But I don't love it.
Sheesh. I guess I'll say Steelers.
We're at 10. It's going to get good. 9.
Ravens.
As currently constructed, I do want to say Ravens here.
Okay. That's fine. 8. Jacksonville for me.
I'll say Jacksonville.
Okay. 7.
What I thought when he did that last night was, is he maybe just not smart? Is he like, I had the thought to like, is there a way I could check what his grades were like in college? Like, is he just not?
What do you think, he went to class?
Not a bright dude? Like, what are you doing there? Like, what are you doing?
He is one of the weirder quarterbacks to watch.
So bad. Anyway.
I maintain he will be retired by 30.
Ooh.
7.
I mean, thanks for the win, anyway, Jacksonville.
Thanks for the win.
It's nice.
Yeah, no, right. Totally.
Nice to sit with that. All right, where are we? I'm sorry. 9?
7.
7? Wow.
Houston?
Yeah.
Okay. 6. L.A.?
Yeah.
New England.
Ooh. I like L.A.
Okay. 5. Okay. Yes. 5, I will say Patriots. Also, I think. Yeah. I don't want to put them below
The Chiefs.
the teams that are left.
Yeah.
Who'd win?
Right. I mean, really, if Buffalo and New England played.
Who would win? Well, neutral sites. Forget home field advantage. Quote, advantage. Keep chirping Diggs, guys. Going well. 4. Doing a good job out there.
I'm going to say Denver.
Kansas City.
Ooh.
I pull back my Denver. Kansas City for me.
Can you do that?
I just did. I don't know. My name's on the door.
What courage.
Your name is on the door. How many times have we heard that? Kansas City at 4. 3.
It's Denver.
Bills.
I'm fine with Bills.
Who's left?
2.
What are we doing here?
2.
Denver's 2?
I mean, maybe.
Or not? No, yeah. Denver's got to be 2.
The two teams did play.
If Indy's going to be 1. Those are the 2 teams left. Denver's 2 to me.
Really?
Yeah.
They played?
Yeah. Indy won on a
They did.
bogus field goal.
They did.
Block penalty, but whatever.
Indy at Philadelphia. What's the line? Got to be 4.
I was going to say 5.
5. Well, Denver was 4.5, but they did win the game. Down 17-3 in the 4th.
Yeah.
Respect for the Colts win over the Broncos and their seat. I'll say Denver at 2. Okay. And your new number 1 song in America.
Worst to
The
first.
Indianapolis Colts. Would you take...
I don't think this has ever happened in the history of reverse AFC
16-1?
that a team within,
Nope. Here's
in a
the library.
Season, if you'll allow a season cycle. I mean, I know August is not the season, but it's whatever. We knew who they were. The reason they were first was
16th.
Because of Daniel Jones, and he's playing like an MVP candidate.
You ever see All the President's Men?
Sure. I don't know it
There's
like the
that
back
scene
of my hand, but I love the movie.
At the back here, that scene where they go to, I think it's the Library of Congress, and they want the record of every phone call made by everybody since all time. And the security guards sitting there like, or the guy sitting at the desk like, you want everything? And they give them just like stacks of, here, you want to go find out if it's ever happened? 16-1, we got it right here, baby. Years of research. Would you take AFC Championship? Bills at Colts. How can you turn that down? Would you turn that down? AFC Championship, Bills at Colts. Who says no to that? Colts don't say no to that.
I'm gonna want to work really hard to say no to that. I want it for us. I want the
Me
one.
too.
So of course everyone does, but I don't know that I want to give up on it.
Okay, right.
So I think I mean it's obviously not going to Kansas City or Baltimore. So it feels
harder.
Feels a little cushy.
How many touchdowns Jonathan Taylor against the Bills? Over under 2.5.
See, but you're not accounting for Michael Hoyt being back.
No, you're right. I'm not, because he didn't play 4 years ago when the Colts came in and Taylor ran for 5. You're right. He didn't play in that game either. I'm not accounting for Michael Hoyt, or maybe I am. I don't know. I'm just asking you if you would take that right now. If you'd sign for that right now, I'm saying no.
I would not sign for that right now. I still want to. I feel like I can still do better than that.
That's fair. It's fine. Best point differential in the NFL, Indianapolis. Worst, Cincinnati. Through 5 weeks. 803-0550 for your calls today. Ross Tucker at 4. Exciting personal news in Ross's life that we'll talk about. And Travis Yost.
Hey now. See?
Right at 5 for the start of this, for the puck drop of the season.
Tell him no one cares about the hockey season starting.
No one cares. Is that what I said? Maybe it is. I don't know.
Something like that.
I just meant that it doesn't matter who wins.
Yeah.
How do you like sports if you don't care who wins? I mean, that's today. But it is kind of cool that it's back, right? It's back.
Yep.
3 games. You'll be watching the late one, I think.
No, what? No way.
11? Is it 11?
I don't know.
Kings and Avs?
No chance I'm making it to that.
No? Not even for the beginning?
No, probably.
Just so you can say you
probably
watched
not.
all 3?
Depends how good Penguins Rangers is.
It's 10:30. You can get there.
10:30. Not bad. Very doable.
I don't make it to Sabres games at 10:30.
Brew a cup of coffee. You can get there.
I'm not doing that. You seen any of the images from Detroit here where they're supposed to play a baseball game?
It's raining.
It's raining. Like it looks. I mean, it just looks. They just had David Ortiz standing in front of a weather map.
I love
was
that.
the
Great idea.
That was like the size of the entire room he was in, and everything on it was green.
That's what the viewers want.
Like there was everything on the map was green.
When I turn on baseball, what I want is former players standing in front of maps and pointing at systems. That's what I want. I'm sorry I missed it, but you were here to save me.
I don't even think it's a system. It's like a weather continent.
Well,
it's just enveloping the entire region. That doesn't good.
bode well for us tomorrow. Then I guess if that's Detroit right now or tonight,
or right. I mean,
not great.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope they play because I was looking forward to watching it while we were talking here. 803-0550 reverse AFC power rankings. Once again brought to you by Powered Even by Empire Electric, your residential neighborhood electrician. Visit empireelectricians.com.
dancing so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your
on the evergreen subject of Bill's receiver separation ability. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. You know what? Nice fit with what the question was I wanted to bring up earlier. Because I think you could go a long time with this and in lots of different directions. So we're talking about wide receiver all the time. Really, I mean, they're talking about what does the G stand for in WGR? Because we know WR, we know that stands for wide receiver. Like that's just us. Let's talk about the draft pick of Keon Coleman. How are we looking? So, like I said, you can go a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
He's not Xavier Worthy. Okay. I mean, he's good. Coleman's good. But they're different. It's also not Luke McCaffrey, who I think is still good, even though this year nothing is really happening there. He was on the board, and so were lots of other guys, including some that haven't worked out yet. How about New England? Here's New England, all fancy, coming in here and winning. Polk and Baker, two receivers picked last year. Nobody would have criticized the Patriots for not investing at wide receiver. Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, nobody, they don't even play. Polk is out for the year. He might never play. Baker might even have been waived.
He seems very immature, is what that reads like from a distance.
So you could have done that. A.D. Mitchell. We talked about him a lot last year. How does the Bills' pick of Coleman sit for you right now? It's a receiver. He's had moments. He scored a touchdown Sunday night. He was also sat for the beginning of the game Sunday night, and that's happened before with Coleman. What else? I mean, the investment in the position, it's there with this player. They traded down. They lost out on Ricky Pearsall and Xavier Legette between when they were on the board, when Worthy was picked, to Coleman, first pick of the second round. I don't know. I mean, so many different ways to look at this. One being sort of the macro, the Bills and wide receiver, trying to get better. Here's a pretty significant pick 33, pretty significant draft asset used on a receiver. Give him credit. What else is there to say at this point? How is that going? He's certainly not, I mean, everybody eats, right? Everybody nibbles, everybody snacks.
Yeah.
He's certainly not an alpha target dominator. He has not even been close to that. And I don't know that the Bills mind that so far.
Yeah, I mean, if you take them at their word that they really do believe in this, like, you know, we don't have a guy that we got to force it to or anything. Like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm skeptical about that. I feel like you would like a guy to be good enough. Like what? If Coleman did emerge in some way, right? His route running got good enough. We still don't know, do we? I don't know. Route running got good enough that, you know, he's just every time I look over there, he's open. I mean, I'm feeding him the ball. What, they would stop? Like, stop getting open. It doesn't make sense to me that you wouldn't want someone to emerge as the best of the bunch and therefore more deserving of attention. I mean, I get it. Like, I guess theoretically, from Allen's perspective, if it's a clean sheet every time, that frees him up to just go to the right guy. But I don't know, isn't it better if you have a guy that you strongly suspect because over time you see him get open and beat his man on certain routes, and you just know, you know, I'm going to drop back here, and if I'm right about this coverage, that's the throw. I'm just going to do that. I don't know. Like, I appreciate the, you know, it's very communal. It's just, I don't have any preconceived ideas about it at all. I don't know. I don't think preconceived ideas have to be a bad thing in that relationship, quarterback receiver. So, I don't know, man. I think it's going okay.
It's going okay.
It's going okay. Their entire passing game is pretty much going okay. Kincaid is maybe the brightest story of their passing game, that he's emerging.
Well,
he's getting in the end zone. He had a 100-yard game last week. He's making important plays, and so that's good. But I'm still burned about Worthy. Honestly, like you asked me about Coleman, the first thing I think about is the trade they made to get out of there that cost them the opportunity to get the guy that I thought fit better. What do I know? I'm not a coach. I'm not trying to forage around for this everybody eats mentality. I just want a guy that's going to get open and maybe threaten people down the field, and Worthy seemed to fit that profile. They had their concerns. Maybe they'll end up being right. We'll see. He's already missed some time this year. Maybe he'll get hurt again because he's so little. I don't know. But I still feel a little chafed about that when you bring up Coleman to me. So, I should set that aside because that doesn't really matter. What matters now is how's it going with Coleman?
No, it does matter. And it will. It's a question, I think, of how much energy do you want to devote to this? Because if you are all in on the question, Worthy absolutely matters. I think all of it does. So does the player they got when they traded down. Who's that guy again?
Dwayne Carter.
Thanks for reminding me. So, that was your reward for making that move, was him. And it's still like a later round pick, but you'd like to think that would help you in the equation. That matters. Stylistic, yesterday we got into this again. Fans are ready to talk about it, and I don't feel like that's just because we are leading them to water, with this subject. Mm-hmm. We got to a point yesterday where we had calls from fans who were like, this is how the Bills want it. They don't want to have a field stretcher because then they would have to throw the ball deep or something. Then they'd be in 2nd and 10, and they want to be in 2nd and 5. And they don't need Xavier Worthy to get to 2nd and 5. All they need is James Cook or even Knox to get to 2nd and 5, or Allen, of course. They don't want the top off the defense kind of thing. They want to be methodical. And I think you can say that about them. I really do. I think you can say it. For as much winning and scoring as they've done, I think it's a fair assessment of how they want to play. So, Coleman, what did you say? It's going okay?
It's going okay.
Is anybody going to say it's going better than okay?
I mean, I was hopeful at the beginning of the year. We have our fantasy guys, on Fridays usually, through the summer and into the season. And Coleman was the guy that I felt like if someone's going to emerge, I felt like that's him. I was really worried about Kincaid's legs. I when he got dinged so early in camp, that I thought, oh no, this is just going to be a thing. And there's been a hint of it yet, which is great news. But that pushed me to Coleman, and I sort of bought that, talking to Sal about it and hearing what the coaches were saying, that he's worked on the route running and he's more intentional about it and all this sort of stuff. And I don't know. There's lapses, there's drops, there's fumbles, there's not showing up for stuff and getting benched. The Miami game, he doesn't turn around in time for a ball that's right on him. So it's not. I don't know. He's. It's just okay. That's the best I can do. And I want to say more. I'd like to be able to say more, but I really can't.
It's not a loss. It's not a win.
Okay. Right.
Always. Also, in the context of how the team does, the team has done really well, but not that this is fair to, go with right now because the season is too young. But they haven't won yet. This is only the second year of Coleman. How do you think it's going? 803-0550. Let's go to Bill here. Hi, Bill.
Hey, guys, just to piggyback on what you're talking about, believe me, I get annoyed as anybody about that Worthy move. And I put it aside till the season ended. And I said after they made that pick, if this guy burns us or beats us bad like Tyreek Hill did years ago in a playoff game, I'm going to be totally, totally angry. And what happens? He crushes us in that playoff game. And that made that move even so much worse for me. And then to top it off, we had another one of Bean's first-round picks that was a bust, Tyree Elam, the one they had to go out there and play against Worthy and try to cover him. And that just added salt to the wound for me because he's not even here anymore either. I wanted them to grab McConkey in that draft. I thought it was perfect for Allen. He always gets open. He gets separation. He's got great hands, and he's just got a great mentality for the locker room. I liked everything about that kid. And the Chargers took him right after we took Coleman. So I'm watching that guy, too, for the past 2 years, and he seems to be almost Herbert's go-to guy. So believe me, this topic, it infuriates me.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Bill. I liked McConkey, too. I feel that Shakir was
in the way.
The problem with that, thinking that would happen, just the overlap between the two players. And that's what I think has held me back on Shakir the last couple of years. This is also how I feel about Cook a little bit, although he's making that tougher now, is that when you sign good players to big deals, then you're not going to do anything to cut into them. Like, you're not going to go looking for a slot receiver, and you're not going to go looking for a running back. In the running back's case, that went to the point in this year's draft, when the draft was so rich with running back talent, that the Bills, even without Cook signed, probably thought they were going to get that done and just stayed away from it. And for what it's worth, now their backups are not producing at all behind Cook. So I kind of wanted them to end up with one of those
somebody on Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday picks, exactly. Did not happen, but that's not to say Cook isn't good or that even Shakir isn't good. It's just, all right, if we're going to invest in this is our guy now for years. And you'd better be able, that's got to be able to sing for you. You just have to get that. Well, what do you have to do? You have to win, ideally, with those guys, as main contributors. And if the Bills do win this year, they probably will be Cook. I mean, Cook is really their identity on offense now.
It really has become that way. Yes, and we saw, look, you can overreact to one result and the way one game went that led to the result, but we all got to look Sunday night at what this offense can be like if he's not going. Like, if he gets shut down and the backups aren't producing, so basically you can't run the ball, your quarterback is almost your leading rusher in the game, then that's what you get. If the passing offense is going to be the way that the passing offense is. So they kind of need that. Yeah, I mean, he's become the engine. He got the contract, and that's a piece of the puzzle. It's not the most important piece. How you play matters, but his play gets now. It's up a level because he's made that tier of contract. He's more well known now. You get notoriety when you get the contract. Oh, that guy must be really good. He got paid. Like that works that way sometimes. It can be subtle, but anyway, yeah. I think like you talk to people about the Bills, and it's Cook right after Allen. Now it's not any of these receivers.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Ross Tucker at 4. This is WGR. Also, Travis Yost today, Bills fan, NHL analyst for TSN. It's been a while, I think, for Travis with us.
Yes.
Early summer, maybe. It's been a while.
And he's been coming on our show for a while, too.
Many years.
Is it 10 already?
10 years?
I don't know.
I wonder if he'll remember.
I'm asking. I wonder if it's 10. I mean, I know the 17 draft is the draft that was here, right? And
hockey.
Right, the hockey draft was here.
Okay.
The Bills have never I'm going to check my notes. I don't think they've ever hosted an NFL draft. So the NHL draft was here, and he came and sat with us that day. Right. So did Greg Wyshynski. And so we knew him by that point well enough that he did that.
Okay.
So I think maybe it's 10 years.
Yeah, it was Tim Murray. That was Nylander.
Yeah.
That draft.
Right.
Matthews.
Right.
Wow, I guess it is. For me, everything's either 5 years or 20.
Matthews was 16, not 17. Austin Matthews was the year after Eichel and McDavid.
But that was the draft here, I think.
Yeah?
Matthews? I think so.
Then I have the year wrong. Then it was 16.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Matthews was the first pick here.
I feel like the story with Matthews was he was born like a day or two off the cutoff. That he wasn't eligible for the 15 draft and therefore was in the next draft. I think I remember that being
16
a thing. Okay.
Matthews, Buffalo.
Okay. So I have the year wrong at inception there, but the point holds.
The point is even better.
It's even better because if it's 16, that's a year sooner than 17, and we knew him well enough for him to come, Travis, not Austin Matthews, to come sit with us. So I think we probably were doing it for a few years ahead of that.
We've known him a long time is the point here. Wow, that's really good to know. Sammy is with us next. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, Sammy. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, I just want to, ultimately talk about what has changed with the coaching staff in terms of clock management when it comes to the end of the game. Because I just feel, I understand that in this last game, penalties killed us. We had the fumble, we had an interception. But at the end of the day, we were not out of that game. And one thing that I noticed that I was losing my mind over, and maybe I'm wrong for doing that, is that within the final 2 minutes and let's just say 50 seconds of the game, instead of running clock out in the first play, and forcing the Patriots to burn one of their 3 timeouts, we decide to have Allen throw a pass to Shakir with 2:50 on the clock where he drops it. Then that forces you for the next 2 plays to throw another 2 passes where I think, all in all, they might have burned 20 seconds, 30 seconds of clock total. And I just think that worries me being a Bills fan because I just feel like they haven't learned in the last couple of years of, like, how to handle that. Instead of burning clock and forcing them to use timeouts, and taking it down to the wire, we gave them over 2 minutes of clock to come back and beat us. And I just want to know what your opinion is on how do you think the coaching staff of the Buffalo Bills has changed in the last few seasons that gives you confidence to think that they can handle it in the playoffs with a couple minutes left? And
for the first part, okay, for the first part, I don't think they got Sunday wrong. Like if the point here starts with that they got Sunday wrong, they're trying to win. So it's under 3 minutes, and they're at the 27, and they're down 3. They're trying to win, not tie. They're not trying to bleed clock and kick a field goal. That's what Dick Duran would have done. Like they're trying to score a touchdown. That's why they're throwing 3 times. Shakir drops the ball. That doesn't help. That's not on McDermott. And then the next 2 plays are scrambly and end up being incomplete. So field goal, that makes sense. New England gets the ball, make 2 plays, and then New England really controls the game at that point. I mean, if they had taken timeouts away from New England or something, and now I'm down to, like, New England gets that first down on the booty pass, they could just kick it there. If there's 5 seconds left in the game, they do the same thing. They didn't. They just basically kneeled 3 times or had a rush and just didn't get anywhere. So I don't know. I don't have this worry about the Bills. And how has it changed over the years? Maybe it's changed to the point where I'm not worried about it. I don't know. I don't think they botched Sunday at all. Do you?
No, especially in a scenario where you, I think, had good reason to not feel like running the ball was going to work for you. Like, if you want to avoid the caller, I think, is basically trying to make the same point you were making after the KC loss in the divisional round here. Like, let's run the clock all the way down if we can and give you no time. And if you could run the ball and get another first down, because the object here is to get the touchdown, not just tie the game, right? You want a score. So, but they weren't, they had no success running the ball at all. I think the only alternative was to try to throw it.
Okay.
So I think that's what the caller's driving at. So I don't know that I would go with perfectly, but given the circumstances they were in, i.e. they couldn't run it effectively, I get why they threw it. I mean, it didn't work out in the end. I don't know. I mean, does the caller remember the end of the Ravens game? I think they ran the clock expertly at the end of the Ravens game here. So that's the game, right? And there's been no other close game where the clock would have really mattered at the end.
No.
This year. So I don't know. I don't have this concern either that the caller is talking.
You could run it on 2nd and 10 Sunday night. I would not have loved that. If they hit on the running play, I would never have thought about it twice. But
right.
Yeah, I don't mind how they did it. They just lost. We'll be back with Ross Tucker after sports. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
The NHL season gets underway tonight. 3 games on the docket. We'll get to those here in just a moment. But first up for the Sabres, they don't open up their season until Thursday when they host the Rangers. But some notes from head coach Lindy Ruff earlier today following practice. Goaltender Alex Georgiev did hit waivers after the team signed Colton Ellis yesterday. Owen Power was back at practice today, albeit in a non-contact jersey, but potentially some good news for him. Ruff did say there is a chance he could be ready by Thursday. Paul Hamilton has more on today's practice up at our website, WGR550.com. Now to the games this evening. It's going to be an early start for the NHL. Coming up in just about an hour, Florida gets their banner raising done early. They will host Chicago at 5. 8 p.m. sees Penguins in New York versus the Rangers. Then at 10:30, the Kings, they will host the Colorado Avalanche. For the Bills, it is an off day, but they did make some roster moves. The big one being linebacker Balin Spector is signing to the practice squad. Spector was waived in August by the Bills with an injury settlement, so he returns to the Bills just a few months after being waived. Quarterback trade in the AFC North. The Browns are sending Joe Flacco in a 6th to the Bengals for a 5th. And the Jags, they're placing tight end Brenton Strange on IR with a quad injury. He is going to be out at least 4 games. Then in baseball, Tigers-Mariners currently in a weather delay due to inclement weather. We'll keep you posted on when and if that game is going to start today. Then at 8, still scheduled to start on time. The Jays looking to sweep the Yankees in the Bronx. Shane Bieber and Carlos Rodon on the bump tonight, respectively. That is your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Here he is, man for all seasons, Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker. Insider calls brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Nationwide is on your side. He goes to L.A. for 14 hours. He talks up Princeton. I mean, very glowingly, I thought, last week, Bulldog. I mean, it was just absolutely convincing, his level of affection and affinity for Princeton as a former Tiger. And he joins us now. And Ross, so the Bills and Eagles both have lost games since we last spoke. That's kind of incredible.
Yeah, and I would say pretty unexpected considering they were both playing at home.
Yep.
And, not playing opponents that are considered top 5, maybe even not top 10 teams, although on today's Ross Tucker podcast, I definitely had the Broncos within my top 10 in my power rankings. That's the NFL, I guess, and I do think on some level both teams were showing some warts. Neither team was playing, I thought, at the high enough level that you're expecting them to go 9-0, 10-0, 11-0, all those things. And I don't know, the 72 Dolphins, those guys have to be pretty old at this point, so I guess I'm happy for those guys that they got it out of the way early.
Right. Well, what do you think of the Bills? Have been flying kind of close to the sun here, Ross. Like these wins, the margins, in the end, we're in here, the day after games, like, well, they won by 12, they won by 10, like it's the NFL, it's fine. But, within the games, but the last 2 prior to Sunday night against New England, the New Orleans game and the Miami game, like you're a possession away. You're like 1 play away from, disaster. And you needed blocked, like not block punts, but roughing the punter penalties in both games came somewhat to the rescue. So you're right. The signs were there. The cracks were there. Like, what does that mean to you now? Like, how do the Bills what do they need to adapt and adjust to here?
Well, I don't think, there aren't that many teams playing at what you would say is a really high level. I think the teams that jump out to me are actually the top 2 teams in today's power rankings, the Lions and the Colts. I mean, the Lions and the Colts are the 2 teams where I look at them and think, man, they're really playing well. I mean, they are really playing well. And even though, the Colts had lost the week before in L.A., you can just see it. You can just tell when certain teams are playing well or not. And that was certainly the case, I thought, with those 2 teams. The Bills and the Eagles both were showing some issues. For the Bills, I would say I'm expecting and hoping for more from them defensively. in terms of being able to win on third down and close teams out. We've talked about, how they do have some defensive line reinforcements coming soon with Hoyt and Ogunjobi, and I think they need those guys. But they've been able to win because they've been able to do enough on the offensive side of the ball, and they hadn't turned it over. Well, then as soon as they turn it over several times, that's the difference. That's the margin.
Yeah.
That they played a better team, and they were no longer winning the turnover margin. For the Eagles, they were able to get up, and they were up 2 scores, and I didn't think Bo Nix was playing well enough for them to be able to beat the Eagles, but all of a sudden Bo Nix got hot in the fourth quarter, which is kind of all they needed, and next thing you know, the Broncos were able to pull off that upset. You hate saying it because every game does matter, and I've been very clear with you guys how much every game matters for the Bills in terms of getting that number 1 seed, and I think this is a really bad loss for them. Really bad loss. It's home, primetime game. You can lose games, but you think you'd be more likely to lose a game on the road against a quality opponent, not at home against a middling opponent and a divisional opponent at that. Ultimately, I think we all know it matters how well you're playing in December and January, and these teams are all kind of trying to figure out what they do best. Every week, which is so interesting, every week the team you're playing against has a new plan to try to beat you. And if it works, you're going to see a lot of that the next week from the next team you play. And that's going to be the case for these teams. The Broncos played a lot of zone coverage, and they would drop 8, and Hurts was hesitant to get rid of the ball. And what do you think the Giants are going to do Sunday night? Same stuff.
Right, Thursday this week, Giants and Eagles. Ross Tucker with us. Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Nationwide is on your side. You don't sound, and I'm not criticizing you at all for this, you don't sound that impressed with the Patriots. So am I right in that sort of observation here? And if that is how you feel, then this is a loss I think you can get less worked up about. But if you think, and they have a very friendly schedule, Ross, if New England is good, then this could be a race.
Well, that's funny because you could look at it both ways. You could look at it like, if I don't think the Patriots are that good, that makes the loss even worse.
Right.
Or you could look at it like, well, if I do think the Patriots are pretty good, then, they might be in this thing.
Right.
And it's probably more the latter. It's probably actually a combination of both. I don't really think the Patriots are that good, but now that they have this win and this belief, now I do kind of think that the Patriots have a chance to be in this thing, which is exactly what you didn't want to have happen. But, they've given them a lot of belief now as a result of that win Sunday night. I mean, if you're the Patriots, you got a young quarterback who got it done for you late, had an incredible play, and you won the game on the road against arguably the best team in the league. So all that does is just inspire a tremendous amount of confidence in Vrabel and Drake May, and as a result, I wouldn't be surprised if, the Patriots make the Bills have to earn this now.
Yeah, May was, for all these years we've enjoyed watching Josh Allen do these ridiculous things that sort of save the entire team and save games for the team. May, the Bills got a little of their own medicine. They were sloppy enough, a lot of penalties, and they turned it over. But even with that, May made a couple of plays in this game. The first play of their final drive, Ross, where Daquan Jones is just on him right almost as soon as he gets the ball, was very much a Josh Allen play. How in the world is that guy keeping his feet, let alone delivering a pass near enough a receiver to turn it into a first down play? And then there's the other play earlier in the game where he's rolling to his right and throws a dart to Diggs on the sideline there. Those are very much, we've seen Josh Allen do both of those things dozens of times.
That's exactly right. I was amazed by that. And I got to tell you, I was also amazed at just how good of a game Stephon Diggs had. Not that I didn't think he was still capable of that, but that the Bills allowed that to happen. The Bills had to know that he would be supremely motivated and really want to put on a show, and that McDaniels and the Patriots offense would want to try to get him going because he can be an elite player still, clearly. I guess I'm a little bit surprised, maybe a tad disappointed, that the Bills didn't seem to be as prepared for a lot of Stephon Diggs as they should have been.
Ross, so I know you were talking about this on your podcast with Steve Fezzik, how now 2 weeks in a row we've seen players going in for touchdowns just lose the ball just at the 1 yard line. There's an argument, I think, that DeMercado for Arizona got to the line, but I agree with one article I read. I've got no sympathy for you if you do that. I just
don't cut it that close.
I don't care if it's not perfectly reviewed and seen that you were actually short. What is that for you? On your podcast, your guest was saying, I just don't understand how this could ever happen. I think. Would you say the same?
I think when this might sound stupid, but when you're moving that fast, now this is a little bit different. Like A.D. Mitchell, okay, he lost the ball. So Adonai Mitchell lost the ball for the Colts last week. He wasn't dropping it early. It fell out of his hand. The DeMercado thing's different. The crazy thing about the DeMercado thing to me is L'Jarius Sneed was chasing him. So you would think that would have made DeMercado even have better ball security. L'Jarius Sneed was trying to punch it out. So you would have thought he would have had two arms over it as he got into the goal line so that Sneed couldn't punch it out. But obviously, as we all saw, that was not the case. And he dropped it just short of it. This might sound stupid, guys, but those guys are moving so fast, and they're gaining ground so quickly, and especially when it's like 70 yards, I think that there's something to it where they're excited and they take the next move obviously early. But we've seen it happen so many times now that there's some type of weird natural instinct or natural reaction that a lot of us don't understand.
Yeah.
But this isn't a conscious decision by these guys, right? They're not running thinking, you know what I'm going to do? This will be hilarious. I'm going to drop the ball just short of the goal. Like, this is not like people are acting like these guys are making conscious decisions. They're not. It's actually something in the subconscious, something with their speed, and it's like, hey, you made it, you did it, and they miscalculate.
While we're here, what did you make of Jonathan Gannon's confrontation with the player on the sidelines?
Well, I don't care for anything that looks like it's has any potential physicality to it, because that's a great way for a coach to get punched in the face. You got a guy in a helmet and shoulder pads, or in this case, maybe just still shoulder pads, that's in a bad way. If you're a coach and you're going to get physical with that guy, any NFL player, good luck, because your whole mindset, I was an average player or whatever, and I was 6'4.5", 315. When I was on a field, that's probably one of the worst linemen out there, right? In my head, I was the biggest, baddest dude, and I could kill anybody. Like anybody in the world. Bring out Mike Tyson. That's the mindset. Mm-hmm. And so if anybody would touch me in any way, my initial reaction would have been
it's time to go. Right.
It would have been hard to not respond physically. So I think it's a really bad idea for any coach to ever do that. I appreciate that he apologized to DeMercado, apologized to the team, talked about it publicly. I really try super hard to teach my daughters that, hey, we all make mistakes in the heat of moment. It's how you handle it. It's what you do afterwards that matters. You accept accountability and responsibility. You apologize to whoever needs to be apologized to, and you never make the same mistake twice. That said, I'm trying to put myself in Gannon's shoes. Guys, this might be the difference between he and the whole staff getting fired or not. If they need to make the playoffs this year, that could very much be the difference between them making it or not.
The play.
You can't lose a home game to the Titans.
Right.
And so you have a lot of people's lives that are affected. And I don't know, when I coach, I coach my daughter's volleyball, or when I used to coach their softball. Now, these are elementary and now middle school girls. But, man, I can see me. If I was coaching high school football, I can see, let alone college or the NFL, I can see me getting super, super upset if someone makes a dumb mistake, not a physical mistake, but a dumb mistake that we had gone over multiple times. I feel like I would have a really, really tough time handling that.
I thought was really tough about the optics of the confrontation itself is there's two teammates with the player, DeMarcado, look like they're trying to console him. The big lineman on the player's left, he's got his arm on his back and is sort of trying to, look, dude, we know you feel bad, just we need you, that kind of thing, I'm imagining. And here comes Gannon and is just, ready to go. That made it look really tough, I thought.
Well, yeah, and it was the special teams coordinator, I think, that came in and kind of got him away from that. Because I think Gannon realizes how it makes him look, and he probably just had a meeting that week and showed the guys the Colts play, which makes it like a million times worse.
Right. It's what makes soccer so confusing because, almost any play you see in soccer that doesn't click, somebody takes a shot over the net. Somebody else is their arms are way out here.
I was over here.
The goalie, every time there's a save or a close call, he's pointing screaming at some fullback. I don't know. Ross, you probably have to go. What's this about a new shower?
Oh, yes. Well, one of my best sponsors is West Shore Home. And you can actually go to their website, westshorehome.com/Ross. It's cool because it's actually a good friend of mine owns the company. And for people that follow college football, he actually just bought the naming rights to Penn State Stadium. So it's now
doing all right.
West Shore Home Field at Beaver Stadium, which if you watch a Penn State game, you'll see it on the field. Anyway, as part of the sponsorship, I got a new shower in my detached garage, which is kind of like where I have my studio and, my exercise room or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it is awesome. I always think, I don't really need it. Okay. It's amazing how much better it was than one of those old, I don't know, what are they, vinyl or whatever that is. Those old showers everybody had in the 80s and 90s. They replaced those in a day and put these awesome showers in, thank goodness.
Nice for you. Sounds great. I need a shower in my garage, Bulldog. It's good. We've talked about it.
Home.com/Ross.
I need a garage.
Thank you, Ross. Talk to you next week. Got it.
See you guys.
All right, there you go. That's our buddy Ross Tucker on the West Her Hotline. His appearances here, Insider Calls, are brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
So what you're saying is shower in a garage sounds cool. Need a garage first.
Need a garage first, yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have a garage. No, it's more of a shed. It's falling down.
I have a garage that doesn't serve its original purpose, which would be to put cars in it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one problem with that. They don't fit. There's too much other stuff in there.
Too much other stuff. Well, you got to get on that. You can control that.
I do need to get on that. I've been saying it for a decade. I do need to get on that. Many are saying it, and they're not wrong.
It'd be very satisfying to get that cleaned out.
Oh, come on.
It would.
As soon as I disagree. I have no interest in it. As soon as I clean it out, I'm just going to fill it back up.
No, you're going to start putting your cars in there, and that'll keep you from filling it up. That's what you're.
I don't care. I don't care to have my car in there. It's fine where it is. In the driveway, it's fine where it is.
Get back to me in a few more years, because I'm telling you, like at my age, the wrestling with the street and the no garage and the scraping and the brushing and all the stuff is just like, man, I really regret not getting a house with a garage. It wasn't a priority for me. I'd lived in apartments in the city for a long time. Like, it's fine. No, it's fine. I don't care. Well, I care now.
I don't need a shower in it.
No,
I think I don't need a shower in it.
I think you can stop short of that, but clean that out. When we had the place in Canada that we were lucky enough to stay at in the summers, that garage over the course of 30 or 40 years just got junk. And one summer, for a whole weekend, I got a dumpster, and I just went in, and man, I felt so good every time I walked in that garage after that. Just because it was organized and like there were shelves and like you could see stuff. You could keep stuff in there and like retrieve it. As it was prior to that, it was just a junk pile.
All I'm going to want to do is move stuff to somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to want to throw out my bike, for instance. Like I'm not going to want. Well, I guess I don't have to throw out my bike.
No, I wouldn't suggest that. No.
Okay.
What you can do is like hang it from the rafters of the garage, and then make room for the cars underneath. That's
Can I hang my new mower from the rafters?
I wouldn't suggest that.
Just turn it upside down and have it hanging from the roof of the garage.
The fluids might leak. I don't think you want that.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want any of this.
No.
You're talking to the wrong guy. Prominent local celebrity figure weighing in on one of our earlier questions today. Would you take a Bills at Colts AFC championship? He's saying yes. And who it is might surprise you. Oh, gotten so good at this. 803-0550, Travis Yost at 5. Lines are open for your calls. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Season's getting underway in about a half hour. We've got 3 games tonight. Florida hosting Chicago's first up at 5. 8 p.m. sees Penguins in New York versus the Rangers. Then at 10:30, the Kings will host the Colorado Avalanche. Sabres won't get started with their season until Thursday when they're at home against the Rangers, though we did get some notes from practice today from head coach Lindy Ruff. Goaltender Alex Georgiev, he is hitting waivers after the team signed Colton Ellis yesterday, and then some potentially good news for Owen Power. He's back at practice today in a non-contact jersey, but Ruff did say there's a chance he could be ready by Thursday. Paul Hamilton has more on this up at our website, WGR550.com. Off day for the Bills. Buffalo, though, did make some roster moves. Linebacker Balen Spector signs to the practice squad, and for Spector, he was waived back in August by the Bills with an injury settlement. And then in baseball, 1 game is delayed. Tigers-Mariners due to inclement weather. We'll keep you posted on that if anything changes on that front. Then at 8 o'clock, this game is still scheduled to start on time. The Jays looking to sweep the Yankees. They are in the Bronx. Shane Bieber and Carlos Rodon on the bump tonight. It's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
You know, there's certain things that we preach, and in the end, it comes down to it, like, guys got to be on the ground. Like, it doesn't matter if it's running back, quarterback, wide receiver, guys got to be on the ground. That's what has to happen. And certain things we can certainly do to emphasize those positions that we could potentially be in. In the end, when it comes down to it, offensive players that are carrying the ball need to be on the ground.
Bobby Babich, maybe not the most incendiary quote or anything, but it might make you wonder, think about, like, what is a coach's responsibility when it comes to tackling? He sounds like he's kind of saying there, not in a bad way, but like there's only so much I can do. Get in position.
Yeah.
But you got to get him to the ground. I see me over here with the headset. I cannot get him to the ground. I cannot do that for you.
No, I can try to tell you where to be, or actually directly tell you where to be or where you should be. I can coach you on your technique in getting the person to the ground, but the literal act of getting the guy on the ground, there's the coach can't really do much about that once the game's going.
Plus, it's the NFL. How much technique is really on the table in these conversations?
I wonder, like we talked about this with Sal. Well, he just made an example out of how, how's Milano doing, when he's practicing limited. He's like, well, he's tackling the bag hard. Like he had a pec muscle injury. Like he's going after that. So I wonder, like, do they watch those reps and then try to correct? I would imagine yes. I mean, they probably watch everything. So Am I like grading Matt Milano's technique on the bag? I think probably. If I'm being thorough, now maybe there are guys that you just eventually go, yeah, I think he's got it. Like I'm not.
Well, he wouldn't be one of them.
Maybe right. But like other guys, like I don't know. I would think you'd want to correct that if you see a guy going at that bag and something about their foot positioning or their arms or something's not right. I think you'd want to fix it. So there's probably some coaching that happens there.
I think there certainly can be, but it's not high school where you're really teaching tackling, right? Like you're really teaching kids how to get low and drive, your hips, your shoulder, whatever it is, however you would teach it. I've never been in that job. But in the NFL, I think that's sort of like they're walking in the door knowing how to tackle, and I'm the defensive coordinator in the National Football League. Like, kind of just let's go here, maybe. It's something to think about. A person you know and respect and admire.
Oh God!
Said he would take Bills at Colts.
Go ahead. I know who it is now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why? How?
I don't know.
Did he tell you?
No. But you.
It's not Don Postles.
You have a. No, of course, it's Jackie Walker. No, you have a certain way of talking about this person that just tripped a wire. It didn't happen when you first said it, but now this lead up to it makes me I'm going to go with 100% sure I know who it is.
Go ahead.
Adam Krautwurst.
No, it's Sal.
Oh, Sal. Okay. You never talk about Sal that way.
That's well, I still got it.
You do.
I still got it.
You got me. I thought for sure it would be Adam Cross. But you didn't do the, like, it's someone you love and respect or whatever, all the other crap you usually say.
I didn't lay it on quite as thickly.
No, that's right. Sal says he would take, when's he coming on next?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
He can call in anytime he wants, but tomorrow.
I mean, I get it. It's not a no-brainer. I'm 4-1. I have the same record as them. I'm not 5 games in. And they're sort of new here. Like, it gets harder to doubt them the longer it goes here, right? I mean, they just keep scoring 40 points every time they step on the field, or whatever. I mean, they're killing people. So, I got to stand back from that's not going to last. It's Daniel Jones. He's going to turn into a pumpkin. Like, we've seen guys have. Sam Darnold had this season last year. Geno Smith had this season a few years ago. Like, it has happened recently enough. So I'm pumping the brakes on their, it's Cinderella time for them.
Fine.
But still, it's 5 weeks in. Like, let's see. Let talk to me mid-season. Are they keeping pace? If I fall behind, I know that's the beauty of asking the question now. Like, would I settle for that? It's certainly a better outcome than having to deal with the Chiefs or even the Ravens if they ever get back on their feet, or I don't know. I even would say the Bengals, if they, get by here without Burrow and get him back and maybe lean into it at the end. But
well, that was exactly Sal's point. Is sure you could play that game at home, but you might play somebody good. I mean, good, better than the Colts,
right?
Somebody that does scare you,
right?
Would you take at Colts AFC Championship? As Sal mentioned in the text, controlled environment. I don't have any wind or elements to worry about.
Yeah.
Versus home to somebody else that you might be more afraid of that is just better. I mean, or,
yeah.
I said it all, at home.
Yeah.
That was kind of his point.
I don't really care that much about home or the road. I want the week off. That is the piece that doesn't get reflected in this thought experiment,
right?
Because it's who wouldn't rather play the Colts than any of the teams we've already talked about, right? Of course, and again, we'll see by January how we feel about that. But even still, if the premise is they're last year's Vikings, all right, let's see what happens when you get on the field of being a playoff game, Sam Darnold, right? Or a game you need to win to clinch the division, Sam Darnold. He did turn into a pumpkin at the end, and now he's back playing great again in Seattle. Anyways, but the week off is the bigger prize. I get to rest. Maybe I'm even comfortable enough to be able to rest sooner than just getting the wild card weekend off, but not having to play that game is huge. I don't even care about playing Indianapolis in their dome or my place. It's the week off is what I want.
AFC South is a story, and it is in concert with, here's Jacksonville beating Kansas City with Chiefs 2-3, Bills lose a game, Ravens 1-4, Bengals in shambles. Like, you've got the top tier, Bills at the top of that list, I think. But you've got, questions about, at least, or worse, the top teams, the supposed top teams in the conference. In the AFC South, you have Indianapolis, Jacksonville 4-1. Houston blows out the Ravens 2 in a row for Houston. And maybe they're good. They're on bye this week. Here's one take about that division. I watched the whole game last night. I don't think Jacksonville's good at all. That's a lot of NFL games, maybe even ours Sunday night, which is just like a call here and there, a turnover. Lawrence literally falls down on his winning touchdown as Chris Jones just kind of watches him do it.
Right.
It was a weird night. We talked about Lawrence throwing from across the line of scrimmage like immediately in that game. That sat in my head all night. This guy, what's wrong with him? And I am concocting these scenarios in my head where, like, he just does not want to be on the field. I talk about how Kyler Murray always looks so miserable. Lawrence kind of looks not miserable as much as just, like, distant. And, that's just one guy watching from his couch. But they did win. I don't know. I was on with ADP Chasing this morning with Davis Maddock, and he's a Chiefs fan, and he's like, I know they lost the game, but my Chiefs have never been so back as they are now. Like what was it? Yards per play and success rate, they hit 100%, if you like success rate. They kind of did whatever they wanted and still lost. Time management got screwed up a little bit. Andy Reid's wimpy punt, which he's never been above doing as a coach, even with all his winning.
They turned it over about to walk into the end zone themselves, and that turned into a score the other way. There's a 99-yard pick six in this game.
Play of the game.
And that is Jacksonville. They're 4-1 record. I mean, I'm trying to think. The same guy, Dean, might have had 2 of the takeaways in a 5 takeaway performance against the Niners earlier this year already. Like he's that guy. He's having that. Who's the guy with the Bears way back? Peanut Tillman. Like, they're just having this year where the takeaways just come like that, and they're all just really. I mean, they're all. Any time you take the ball away, it's important. But man, you take it away at your 1 yard line and go 99 the other way. I mean, that should be worth more.
Kansas City's schedule won't quit though. I mean, Lions Sunday night this week, Washington in 2 weeks, Bills after that, at Denver, Colts. They'll have a tough time. I mean, how many games can they afford to lose? Maybe 6? And they've lost 3 already. And they've got tough games, like all pretty much up and down the schedule. Well, good luck to them.
No, I don't want my name on that.
Andy is next. Hello, Andy.
Hello. So maybe I'm confused on the question. Because if the question is, do I want would I take Bills AFC Championship game in Indianapolis?
Right.
Of course, yes. Because to Bulldog's point, I 100% agree, want the week off. However, if the question is, I'm guaranteed to be in the AFC Championship game, please put me in the Dome. Please put me in Indianapolis. I mean, I don't know. But if the question is, do I want the number 1 seed? Yes. I would prefer the 1 seed over guaranteed in Indianapolis.
Would you take that? Andy? Would you take Bills and AFC Championship anywhere?
Yes.
Yeah, I think me too. I mean,
I have to because I look at last year and I go, we weren't supposed to be anywhere close to that. We were in the game. To me, Bills in the AFC Championship game, we've made it that far. It's already a point split. Please, just don't, for the love of God, don't put me against the Chiefs again. Honestly, I kind of want the Chiefs at home. I don't want to be in Arrowhead. Like, if we can avoid the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, love it. Don't care.
Okay,
that's all I want.
Thanks.
I'll take it.
So anywhere else, you will take it.
Yeah,
but Kansas City.
See, yeah, I mean, wanting the 1 seed is you can't separate it, right? If I'm answering yes to the Indianapolis game, then I'm foregoing the 1 seed. And the 1 seed is the one thing we have not experienced yet. And look, I'm not here to tell you that it's absolutely the deal. The Bills could have won any one of these years. These games have all been coin flip games, mostly. The Bengal game wasn't quite that. But the one thing I've not had is the benefit of that rest. And think about the way the season ended 2 years ago. They lost guys in that Miami game that they needed in order to win the division. They lost guys in the Pittsburgh wildcard game. You're just playing with fire at that point in the season to have to go that hard and to have that week off. It's really what this season is largely about to me. And I think a lot of fans, and maybe even the organization, and 5 games in, I don't want to put my name on, I'll settle for playing that game somewhere else. I think it's still perfectly reasonable and realistic for them to chase that and win it. And sure, I may end up playing a tougher matchup, but I think the games have been so tight. Get me the rest, and hopefully I haven't been devastated with injury prior to that, being able to not work that week and maybe even week 18, who knows? Could I be so lucky like the Chiefs were last year to get 2 weeks off and then start the playoffs? Man, it would take a lot for me to bail out on that, and just playing the Colts isn't enough for me.
The key to the whole equation might be New England. I mean, if the AFC South is pretty good and you've got 3 teams vying for first place, and that's games that those teams have to all play against each other. And they also play the West teams. Indy's already played Denver, but they've got the Chargers yet. They've got the Chiefs yet. Like, those games are all coming up. Bills are the AFC North partner this year, and that's really down, and they have only played the Ravens game so far from that division. So the team, maybe the one team that could spoil that for you is the Patriots. If the Patriots roll through an easy schedule and you're going all the way to December having to fight with them,
Yeah.
that could be the difference between the 1 and like the 5 in the end. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Travis Yost coming up at 5. This is WGR. The NHL season gets going in, 28 minutes and 31 seconds as we speak, according to the clock here on ESPN. So
the 5 o'clock face-off is actually closer to a 5:30 face-off is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5:20.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, right.
We'll talk to Travis Yost about the start of the season, the Sabres, and the Bills when he joins us in about 12 minutes, and you can count on that. Brian is next. Hello, Brian.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Great. Thanks for calling.
Great. So in terms of your question, I take the Bills in any championship game anywhere. If you look at the past 5-6 years, Josh and like some of the core, they've been relatively young, and now they've got all this experience under their belt. And when you look at the games they played on the road, they played well. It didn't rattle them. Now you got experience under your belt. You can argue that the worst game they played was at home against Cincinnati. Well, it was the worst game they played at home in the playoffs.
I would agree with that.
So,
yep.
Yeah, so I really feel that over the years they just built off this. They felt the hardship, and now they're gonna build off it. I just have confidence in this team that when they're healthy, that they can beat anyone. And I think we all know that. It's just they've had a couple bad breaks where they haven't been healthy, and that's football. You don't want to say woulda, shoulda, coulda. You don't want to be that guy. But at the end of the day, would the bye help? Sure, of course, I'll take it any day. But in terms of the talent on this team, I'm not concerned about where it's played.
Fine, good.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm not either. Just so we're clear, like I'm not scared to go to. I'm not worried about even going to Arrowhead if I had. Like the premise is your season is going to, well, maybe not end, but like you're guaranteed of making that round of the playoffs. You've had a great year, right? I know living here, I think it's still okay objectively to say that, even though we're just so mad that we can't get past that round or even the previous round. But it's a great season, undeniably. I want the week off. Like I just that's it. I want the week off. That to me is the prize, and whatever that means to who I'm hosting, I'll take it because I trust this team against anyone. I just want to be healthy and I want to be rested, and that I think is easier to do if you get a week off, and who knows, maybe even 2 if you have it play out right.
Yep. Joe Flacco to the Bengals. How many teams is that for Joe Flacco? Is this
6,
Joe Flacco?
6, maybe. Is it 6?
Baltimore for 11 years, Denver for 1, Jets for 3, Browns, including a playoff start, Colts, Browns again this year, and Bengals. So that would be 6. Baltimore, Denver, Jets, Browns, Colts, Bengals. I mean, mix in an NFC team here one of these years, Joe Flacco. No interest in
it's because they
jumping over the...
Yeah, it's because they don't have the designated hitter.
He has to bat.
In the NFC.
That's right. If he went to the NFC, he'd have to bat. Simply, he doesn't want to have to bat. That's it.
That's it. He's scared to bat even.
He has never practiced it.
Yeah.
He's never had to do it. He's never been asked to do it, and he's going to stay out of it. Will this help the Bengals? I respect them for trying it. Maybe they could have gotten someone better, but how can you just... You can't assume that. If they wanted Kirk Cousins, the cap, the money, the trade, I can't assume that they could have just had Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Atlanta might have plans for Kirk Cousins. So Flacco, at least they're not just going to let it rot.
Right. There's, to me, like 5% chance he helps them.
Maybe. I might agree. It's 0 without it.
That's right. You're trying something.
You've got a window with Baltimore having fallen apart, and maybe the Steelers aren't good and the Browns are bad. Like it's kind of available this year. Maybe if the Ravens are rolling, I don't do this trade. Mm-hmm. But they're not. Like it's good to try. Baltimore is selling off pieces, it seems. Odafe Owa, who had 10 sacks last year for them, has been traded to the Chargers today. And there's also Mark Andrews trade speculation. I'm not sure how much he's got left, but maybe the Ravens are punting on the year. They traded for a safety named Gilman for L.A., who I think was a starter. He played. These are both players I have in fantasy.
So maybe that's not a punt as much as it's right. They've got like Hamilton's hurt, right? Although I didn't know that was multi-week for him. But,
I don't know.
getting a play, picks, I would say they're punting. If you're getting a guy that's going to go in and play for you right now, then you're trying to patch.
Yeah, maybe. Travis Yost next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Opening night in the NHL, the Sabres will get their season going on Thursday. We'll talk a little bit some of the notes from head coach Lindy Ruff here today in just a few moments. But for the NHL, 3 games this evening to get the year underway. Florida will get their banner-raising ceremony done early. They're going to host Chicago, but with all the pregame activities going on there, that game's going to get going in just about 20 minutes or so, around 5:20. 8 p.m. sees Penguins in New York versus the Rangers. Then at 10:30, it's the Kings hosting Colorado. For the Sabres, as mentioned, their season doesn't begin until Thursday. They'll be at home against the Rangers. But some notes from today, goaltender Alex Georgiev hitting waivers after the team signed Colton Ellis yesterday, and then Owen Power was back at practice today, albeit in a non-contact jersey, but potentially some good news for him. Ruff did say there is a chance he could be ready to go by Thursday. Paul Hamilton has more on practice day up at our website, WGR550.com. For the Bills, it is an off day as they get ready to take on the Atlanta Falcons for Monday Night Football in Atlanta. But there was a roster move. Linebacker Balin Spector signing to the practice squad. Spector was waived by the Bills back in August with an injury settlement. And then in baseball, Tigers-Mariners, they are in a weather delay due to inclement weather. No update yet on when that game is going to get going. And then at 8 o'clock, this game is still scheduled to start on time. The Jays looking to sweep the Yankees in the Bronx. Shane Bieber and Carlos Rodon, the 2 pitchers on the bump. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
They have this Panther sound effect that is just the cheesiest, stupidest sounding thing. Big voice guy going, Panther goal scored by Sam Reinhart.
Where'd you get that thing? I trapped it. Been keeping it in my bathroom at the motel, feeding it old pizza.
It's Mike Schopp.
If you're calm, that wondrous big cat will be calm too. But if you're scared, that beautiful death machine will do what God made it to do. Namely, eat you with a smile on its face.
And the Bulldog. On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Just let me get through this. Probably not really a concern because they've won the last 2 Stanley Cups. But I think kind of a smart, sneaky move for Florida is to schedule a team for the opener that wears the same color. Because then you look around the crowd and everybody's just red. Like, wow, this has really taken hold. Unlike, say, the Chargers on Sunday when they're playing Washington.
Right.
And it looks like the red team is the home team.
Maroon everywhere.
A sea of maroon. Burgundy, if you will. It's been a long time since we've chatted with Travis Yost. I'm excited to do it. I know Bulldog is too. Travis of TSN with us now on the West Her hotline. Travis, how's life?
Life's good. I thought they scheduled the Blackhawks because the Blackhawks are awful, but it might be the colors. That could also work as well.
Win-win. Literally, maybe. Chicago still, just on the ice at least, Travis, if not also off. Still down bad this year?
Down very bad. They've got the flashy talent you're looking for now in a rebuild, especially down the middle. You got Bedard and Nazar that both. It's a good 1-2 punch in the top 6. So if you're a Hawks fan, there's at least reason, like high-end young skill to watch that team. But yeah, you will not be seeing a game 83 in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the goalie does. Spencer Knight was a very highly touted prospect coming out of BC and kind of got derailed while he was in Florida, but fresh start, and there's a lot of talent there, so maybe that can work for them too.
Revenge game.
Right, revenge game.
Spencer Knight revenge game. Well, Travis, here we are again. What about the Sabres? So Bulldog mentioned earlier in the show when I brought up your name that we go back a long time with you, and he's like, that was the 16 draft when we sat with Travis outside the arena when Austin Matthews was literally drafted into the NHL. So it's at least 10 years, I guess, since we've been talking, and I'm not sure we've ever had a different question for you about the Sabres. It's just like...
When will it end?
Right?
It is a funny way to think about it, right? And I'm pretty sure the first question was, well, where's the weakness? And I'm like, I don't know about the goaltending. And 10 years forward, boy, I don't know about the goaltending in Buffalo. It's like maybe we're pushing to see if we can eclipse the 17-year Bills drought. And we're a year. This is getting long in the tooth. And once again,
you look up and down this lineup and you see plenty of skill and there's pockets of strength, especially on the blue line. But I don't know how you can be, let's say, sharply confident in this roster with their goaltending situation right now. It is dire.
Yeah, and even, how much would you feel different at all, if at all, if Luukkonen were healthy? Because he was not good last year, really. He was good the second half of the previous season, which earned him the contract extension. They've got some bad luck with him being hurt to start here and then being, re-injured once he finally gets in a preseason game last week. Would you feel differently at all about their situation if he were healthy going into the year?
Not really, and that's going to sound overly critical of Luukkonen, but I mean, it's exactly what we saw last year, which was, let's just be honest, replacement level goaltending, not a far cry from what he was 2 seasons ago.
Right.
And the other element here, he's just an unknown, right? So it's like, okay, we may have a replacement level goaltender and a high end AHL, low end NHL goalie here, and maybe there's more of a ceiling in this player when he's back and healthy and playing on a regular basis for this team. But, I wrote about it in the summer when he was healthy, and one of the every summer in August when literally anyone important is, taking vacation time from TSN and every other outlet, that's when I'm like, hey, look, this is my opportunity to steal the news right here. So I'll do a Talentiers grade every single team's depth chart, wingers, centers, blue line goalies, every single team in the league. And for me, it's a good kind of prep. It's good prep work for the approaching seasons. I try and watch every team as much as I can. And one of the interesting debates that I thought was I graded the Sabres having one of the best blue lines in the league. I mean, I think I had them somewhere in like the 4 to 7 territory, and I really do mean that. I think the defense is good from a 3-pairing standpoint when healthy, when Power's back, of course. I think they are as good as a blue line that you can find, especially from a non-Stanley Cup contender, let's say. I think they'd be at the very top, along with Ottawa, maybe a couple others. But juxtaposed against just completely unreliable goaltending, and we can even set aside the injury piece, which, by the way, availability is a skill, right? You hear about that in many other forums, right? Is the defense good enough to offset what is likely to be substandard goaltending? And maybe another way to ask that question is, can Buffalo get goaltending that is just something reasonably close to average? Because if that's the case, with other tailwinds, like a very, very sharp weakening in talent around them in the division, there is opportunity for the Sabres to compete. I mean, they do have talent, right? Like it's not like you're squinting at this roster and saying I'm looking at the San Jose Sharks at this point, like, deep early phase of a rebuild. But if you're a Sabres fan, you're sick of hearing it, right? Like at the end of the day, it's like I want results on ice, and some would say that's why Lindy Ruff might be back in town. It's like that's the last memory we have of a successful hockey team here. But I think, at least from a Sabres outlook, as bullish as I am on the blue line, I think it's very hard. It's kind of like the soccer analogy, the perfect shot will beat the perfect goalie. I don't think a great blue line can offset really bad goaltending, so they really need, when Luukkonen, when he's back especially, they really need a bounce-back season from him in the worst way. Probably the most important player that'll define the season for them.
Speaking of how we've been talking for a long time, is anything different, better, more trustworthy when it comes to analyzing goalies? Like, I look at Alex Lyon, he's never had like a full-time job. I don't much necessarily care what kind of a prospect he was, in that it's 10 years ago. Do we know more than we used to know in terms of like which goalies are the actual good ones?
I think directionally so the obvious 3 or 4 guys at the top of the list who are competing for the Vezina every year, let's set them aside. Hellebuck, Shesterkin, let's set them aside, right? We have very good, pulse check on those guys are going to be high-end goalies. The one, I think there's 2 things here. I'll answer your question statistically, but then I'll answer it more theory. I typically, especially over the last decade or so, I look a lot more at goals saved versus expected. I think we know a lot more about how shot difficulty and the shot profile of every goaltender faced. I mean, your environment that you play in, from Florida all the way through Chicago, right, can be so materially different, one goaltender to the next. And yet we comp these guys head-to-head all the time, which doesn't necessarily feel fair. And you could be a high-end goalie in a really, really bad situation and post an 880 stop rate, right? And it's like, well, I think there's been good deviation away from raw save percentage to that end. So we do look at like, hey, how difficult is this guy's job on a given day behind the defense, behind the structure in front of him? I do think that's been a little bit illuminative from a statistics standpoint, but I think more theory to answer your question. I've really went back to this, and I think it's informed a lot of what front offices you've seen over especially the last 5-6 years. Teams have really turned aggressively towards platoons, and I think that's twofold. Number one, it's net cheaper on the books by and large, and the cost of the downside risk of massively overpaying a goaltender who doesn't pay out doesn't really exist in those scenarios. The second piece is if I don't have a highly predictable outcome in net, but I have more predictable outcomes at forward or on the blue line, I'd rather deploy my cash in a hard cap league at positions where I know I'm going to get value and roll the dice in net. The problem is goaltending is just so important for a team's win-loss trajectory over an 82-game season that it's kind of a cute game, right? You could say, hey, we'll be thin on our cap allocation for in net, and it's like, well, good luck with that strategy, because if you've got underperforming goalies, you're almost certainly going to miss the playoffs. I do think one of the things that I do go back to is year-over-year repeatability. It, to me, for a goaltender, might be the most important nuanced data point that you can find. And I'll invoke a couple names, but like Darcy Kemper, for example, is a great example of this, where in any given season, he's never been the best goalie on the ice, but in almost every season for a 6, 7, 8 year stretch, he's been a top 12 goalie. And you kind of see this, another version of that. So he's in LA. You've got Linus Ullmark's another good example of a goalie, Boston now in Ottawa, where you have year-over-year repeatability, where you still have volatility season to season, but you know the results are somewhere going to be between average and good, and that's the sort of like floor you need to put in when it comes to puck stopping and investing around the rest of the team, and that's why the Sabres situation is so alarming. Not a single person, starting with the front office, can look at their goaltending and give you any degree of confidence that this tandem, starting with Luukkonen but not solely including him, can drive a top 18, top 20 goaltending performance over an 82-game season. And that to me is a pretty scary proposition, and that's even true if you're a team as talented and as deep as a Carolina, a Colorado, and Edmonton. I mean, for how many years have we been talking about goaltending in those markets, and those teams are perennial Stanley Cup contenders? And it's like, if it's true there, what does it mean for a team like Buffalo, right?
Given the fact that his name hasn't come up and how you sound overall about their goaltending, I'm going to go ahead and just guess that you don't think maybe the Sabres uncovered a hidden gem in claiming Colton Ellis off waivers yesterday.
Maybe. I think you know what? I think it's an interesting claim. I actually thought that made a lot of sense. When I saw him hit the waiver wire, I actually thought the Sabres would put in a bid for him, and they did. But again, you're talking like, what is the ceiling of a player that you're claiming on waivers? I mean, you just look at a 10, 15-year trajectory. It's not that goaltenders are inherently unpredictable, but I beg the question of, over the last decade, go find me goalies who have been on the waiver wire or on the waiver wire more than once that end up being top 15, top 17 puck stoppers over a full season. It's just, they're very hard to come by. I wrote about this, totally unrelated, but I was making the case that, I thought Morgan Frost in Calgary, kind of a random six forward, but I thought there was a chance that maybe he has a breakout year this year, and put a lot of different arguments as to why that's the case. But, buried right in the middle of that piece is like, I just want to emphasize, like, betting on the late bloomer, 8 years removed from his first-round draft pedigree status is almost always a losing bet. Like, these are not high-confidence wagers, but when you're the Sabres and you really don't have a lot, waiver wire isn't necessarily a bad idea. I mean, there is a difference between the discussion of, does he improve the goaltending substantially? Almost certainly not, but is it relatively better than what they had yesterday? The answer to that may be yes. So I think it's worth the flyer if nothing else, but I don't think it's the elixir that cures this here.
Really glad I asked. Tremendous from Travis Yost. I'm on Alex Lyon's hockey reference page. I never noticed this column before, Bulldog. RBS. Like, is that rebounds? No, it's called really bad starts.
Really?
Yes, they have quality starts. We all know that one. But apparently, developed by Rob Volman in the Hockey Abstract, Travis, really bad starts, RBS. And Lyon has an uncomfortable 8 in his 26 starts last year for Detroit. That's a little high, I think. Higher than you'd want.
It's an interesting metric, and it's actually, you know what, when it was actually produced, and it's a pretty, and I say this not as a criticism in any way, it's a bit of an elementary stat, right? You're just measuring how quickly a guy's getting blown off the ice, but I do think it's actually more important in the post-COVID era where teams are platooning a lot more, because one of the benefits of platooning is you don't get into this game of we've got to play this, average goaltender on 3 and 4 nights or back-to-back. Like we're just going to rotate these guys. And that is directionally and statistically the right move to make. But if you've got a guy getting chased in 30-ish% of his starts, the rest component does absolutely nothing for you. So again, it's not to say that Alex Lyon can't be a guy, but the limited track record and what he's put on tape and what the numbers say suggest there might be there's definitely a low floor. We've already seen that. And then the question is can he be a stopgap? Maybe, but maybe not, or probably not. And again, we're really, you're at that point when you're answering in that regard, I think you're splitting hairs in terms of what the goaltending setup actually looks like.
Mm-hmm. So talk to us more about why you're so bullish on this defense. Kesselring is the new piece. He's on IR here to begin. So that's tough break. The Sabres have been searching for a D partner for Owen Power, I think, since he entered the organization, and it took them, what are we going into here? His third full season now. Just talk about the D-core and what you like about them so much. Obviously, Dahlin at the front, all right, but. Yeah,
it's so one of the big I would say blue line debates over the years is what is your defensive blue, what does your blue line look like when you've got the superstar, the Cale Makar, the Adam Fox on your first pair, and they're chewing up a bunch of cap. Well, typically what you see those teams do is they go very, very heavy, very skew heavy usage to their first pair. Maybe their second pair is thinned out a little bit, and they bury their third pair, right? It's usually journeyman guys. I think that you've seen, as teams are more, especially the way the Sabres are set up, right? They do effectively have, and we should not, I do want to emphasize this point. The Sabres are not the worst team in the league or anything close, right? We just watched this team compete aggressively at even strength last year, which is not nothing, right? It's a pretty significant element to have to be able to compete 5-on-5. And part of the reason they did that, it's not like they had this elite first line or this elite first pair. I mean, I think their leading scorer had 72 points last year. It's more so that they could roll 3 quality forward lines and at least 2 quality defensive pairs. You get power back on the ice. You bring in Kesselring. They do go 5, if not 6 deep on the blue line. But more importantly, they can deploy 3 respectable defensive pairings that I don't want to call them interchangeably, because obviously you're gonna skew a little bit of the minutes incrementally towards Dahlin's pairing as a starter. Not to mention what Power and Kesselring will do when they're healthy. But there isn't a notable weakness on that blue line where you can look and say, I am going to close my eyes the 15 or 17 minutes they're on the ice. Having really quality depth and no known weaknesses, in my opinion, can be just as meaningful as having that superstar defender at the top of your blue line. That's not 1-to-1, but usually when you have that guy, you've got to thin out the rest of the blue line, and you got to get very tight on the way you're deploying capital. I think the Sabres have invested in the position. I think they've done relatively well, and I don't see any weakness. So really, though, the question is, how much can they subsidize defensively if you are bearish about the goaltending? And like I said, that's typically been a losing bet. Good blue lines in front of bad goaltending typically end up in bad defensive results. Maybe the Sabres can turn that around a little bit. And again, if you get a little bit of pop and Luukkonen has a bit of a bounce back year, then maybe that's not such a difficult discussion. But I do like the fact that Buffalo can seemingly deploy 3 pairings when healthy. And it doesn't really matter what forward group they're playing with. They should be okay at 5-on-5. And to me, I would actually argue that's probably the biggest tailwind they have, that they've got very good defensive structure and very good theoretical pairings entering the season on Thursday.
Travis, last thing, unless we add a little time for a Bills take from you, the division, like you might have alluded to earlier, maybe it's a little softer. It has not been soft, but is that the Barkov injury? Is that age? Is that just Boston, being down? How does it add up?
Well, this is the way I think about the Atlantic, because I've had this conversation in Ottawa radio and Montreal radio, and I think it's also just as much true in Buffalo at WGR. If you look at the landscape, this division has been so top-heavy for so many years, partially because of multiple teams in deep rebuilds, but also partially because the strength at the top of the division has been extraordinary. We're all making bets and wagers on how these teams are going to shake out over the course of the year, but let me just kind of walk you through this here. The Bruins, who have probably one of the best two-decade runs you're going to see from an NHL team in terms of regular season performance, go look at their lineup. You're going to take the Sabres lineup 7 days out of the week over the Bruins, who are entering. They entered it pretty close to the trade deadline last year, but that is a very, very David Pastrnak and a lot of other randoms. That is a very sobering lineup that the Bruins are putting on the ice this year. Florida, obviously, two-time defending Stanley Cup champ, and they're starting at the very top. But, you're going to have to go ahead and delete their two most meaningful players, their two most impactful players out of the lineup. One, in Alex Barkov through the entire season, and two, Matthew Tkachuk through December. I mean, even if you say, okay, well, Florida's still deep enough and talented enough, they're a no-brainer playoff team. Okay, fine, but are they a 110 regular season point team? That's what we're talking about. These are regular season games that you play in the division that are meaningful to fringe playoff teams like a Montreal, a Buffalo, and Ottawa, and so on. And by the way, Toronto. I mean, Toronto just lost their second best player unequivocally to Vegas for nothing, and didn't really replace him. They've got Scott Laughton, who's going to be out for it sounds like multiple weeks. So, and by the way, Tampa Bay's core is materially older than they were, 6, 7, 8 years ago. It's a lot of the same guys, and they're still very dynamic. But that is one of the oldest rosters you're going to find in the entire league in Tampa Bay. So between Tampa Bay, Boston, Toronto, and Florida, those four teams, if I said to you two, you want to bet that three of those four teams take a step backwards just in terms of total points accumulated, I think you two and everyone else would say, yeah, I'll take that bet, 3 out of 4. Well, that's points that are on the table for an Ottawa, a Montreal, a Buffalo to step into. And so when I say, like, the blue line in Buffalo might be the thing they have most going for them right now, the second thing most going for them right now is they are not playing in a super strong division. And again, there's always a surprise team or two, and maybe it bears out in the Atlantic. But I just think that this division went from relatively strong, if not one of the strongest, to the third best division of the four in the conference. And, for a team that, and I'll say this not critically, but not as a compliment either, for a team that seems strikingly average, assuming they get some just adequate goaltending in Buffalo, then you do start talking, okay, how do we steal 4 games over the course of this 82-game season and just cross that playoff threshold? That actually becomes a real conversation. And to me, I think it is a very real thing that this division is much weaker than it was even 2-3 years ago. If you don't have time for it or don't want it, just hang up. We'll be fine. But if you do, one of our questions today, right now, would you take, speaking of bets, you could say yes or no to, would you take the AFC Championship game being Bills at Colts? Oh, I'm going to bet against that. I'll bet against that. Although I will say, you wouldn't take it as a Bills fan. You wouldn't take it, or would you take? I wouldn't take it because that means two things. You're telling me the Bills are on the road, so they're the 2 at least, and no better than the 2 seed. Is that the proposition?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I said no as well because I want the 1. I want the week off.
You got to have the 1. And I will say, though, to the extent that we're still trying to figure out which of these teams are real or not, and there's a ton of them in the AFC, whew, boy, the Colts look real. I mean, even if you think Daniel Jones is a regression candidate to some degree, the rest of the team looks darn good. And I'm going to leave you with one other placeholder question, since you jogged my thoughts at the very top here with 17-year Bills playoff drought, this endless rebuild for the Sabres, us talking 10 years ago. Yep. Here's something that I've been just wrestling with that I hope it's a good launch point for a discussion for you guys tomorrow. Think about this. How much discussion around the Bills this year and in years past has been, well, we're bad against the run because we play that way stylistically, but then also in the back of your mind, you're thinking, yeah, but this defense and this secondary is going to get absolutely lit up when they play a good quarterback. Like I especially now this year, I have been having immense trouble reconciling they're terrible against the run in part because they play that way stylistically. Okay, but also, what does every single person in the 7-1-6 dramatically fear? It's the moment we play a decent quarterback, he is going to throw all day long on our weak secondary. And that's, to me, a way of saying our run defense isn't very good, either by design or by talent or by some combination, but also we don't trust the pass defense when it matters. That, to me, is the reason I think you're going to see a Bills cornerback trade before the deadline. I would bet I don't want to say whole body. I'd bet my right leg. I'd amputate my right leg if they trade for a corner by the trade deadline. I think it's that dire.
It's Bulldog's big idea. Trade in the secondary.
He's the right man. Well, Bulldog's the genius. We know that.
We do. We will discuss it. Travis, here comes the season. Have a great time with it.
All right. Enjoy, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Travis Yost of TSN. Chicago and Florida, the first game in the NHL season underway. No score in the first period. We have yet to see the league's first goal. You have a bet on it, probably.
No, I don't. Bedard hit the crossbar on a wrister from just inside the blue line.
Can you get first crossbar? Anytime crossbar. Could you get that? It's pretty sophisticated now. We're late for a break. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog at 803-0550. Take Travis's question. Take ours. Do what you think is right. This is WGR.
but the NHL season is underway down in Florida. Blackhawks and Florida scoreless in the first, about 13 minutes left in the first period. We've got 2 more games tonight. 8 p.m. sees the Penguins in New York versus the Rangers. Then at 10:30, the Kings, they are going to host the Colorado Avalanche. For the Sabres, they're going to get their season underway on Thursday at home against the Rangers. Some notes today from head coach Lindy Ruff. Goaltender Alex Georgiev hits waivers after the team signed Colton Ellis. And then Owen Power was back at practice today, albeit in a non-contact jersey. But Ruff did say there is a chance he could be ready by Thursday. Paul Hamilton has more on practice today up at our website, WGR550.com. Off day for the Bills. They get ready to travel to Atlanta for Monday Night Football. They make some roster moves. Linebacker Bale Spector is signing to the practice squad. And Spector, he was waived back in August by the Bills with an injury settlement. Then we do have some trades, namely in the AFC North. A QB trade between 2 teams. Browns sending Joe Flacco and a 6th to the Bengals for a 5th. And the Ravens, they are sending edge Adofe Owe and a 7th to the Chargers for safety Alawai Gilman and a 5th. And then in baseball, Tigers Mariners still in a weather delay. We'll get any updates when we get them, but so far nothing there. Then at 8, Jays looking to sweep the Yankees in the Bronx. Shane Bieber and Carlos Rodon are the starting pitchers for tonight. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Power play, I think in the last 50 games was around 22%. I think we've come out of camp with the power play around 24%. The guy that it really intrigues me that we didn't have last year that can help us in both categories is Norris. Norris, good power play guy, and we really feel that he can be a top penalty killer for us. He's got length, he can skate, he's good on draws. You win a face-off penalty killing, you're probably killed off 20-plus seconds. So it's a guy that I think can help us in both categories that we didn't have last year.
Lindy Ruff, WGR this morning. Sabres embarking on another new season. Opening night is Thursday. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Norris is the simple question. I don't think it's just this. Health. Obviously, that's been I shouldn't say obviously, not everybody knows this, but that's been a problem with Norris.
Big time. Yep.
It's probably why he was even available.
It's the number one reason, undoubtedly, Ottawa going to the playoffs, planning to go to the playoffs. We can't count on this game. It turns out he was hurt when they traded him, so they might have felt like it was a ticking time bomb in their lineup. Let's go get Dylan Cousins. He's going to score, 40% fewer points than Josh Norris, but at least he'll be in the lineup. We can count on him, so.
How much is there with this player if he is healthy?
I think he's got point per game written all over him. I think he's 35 goals if he plays 70 games, 75 games.
And that is his career high, did it?
Yeah. So, and I don't even think it wasn't in 82 games.
No, 66.
Right. I think he's an excellent player, and he's an excellent 200-foot player. I love this trade at inception if he can stay on the ice. I think they got the better player. I don't even think it's close. That's why they had to give up extra stuff. It wasn't, everybody was freaking out when they didn't qualify Bernard Docker this summer because they gave up a second-round pick for him. The trade was completely linear, right? It's Cousins for Norris, a second-round pick for this defenseman. No, the second-round pick was for Norris. You had to pay extra to get the better player in the deal. The question is, can he stay healthy? That's not to say they shouldn't have qualified the guy that they traded for a few months earlier, but all the same, it was not a second-round pick. It, was a part of the transaction. Anyway, so much rides on him offensively. If he stays on the ice, there are your goals that you gave up in the Peterka trade. But the question is, can you really, count on that? He's had a very hard time staying on the ice. He's had the same shoulder operated on more than once. It's just, you worry that it's just one hit and it's going to be over for him.
Josh Norris, age 26, 21-22 season is when he scored 35 goals for Ottawa. And in that season, he finished just out of the medals for the Lady Byng. He finished 57th. How do you finish 57th for an award? What does this ballot look like?
Because 57 players got votes and he was one of them.
Even it was more.
Well,
71 players got a vote or more for the Lady Byng in 2022. I mean, that's in my bio. If I were this guy,
finished 57th and
center, Buffalo Sabres, University of Michigan. Once finished 57th for the Lady Byng. As I told you, my grandfather died on Sunday. He was 94. I tweeted a picture of us last night and said a couple of things about him. His brother was a major league pitcher. I've always found that really cool. My great uncle, who I never knew, Cliff Fannin, pitched 8 years in the major leagues. He pitched in the minors for Toronto. Might have thrown a no-hitter for Toronto. Pitched for the San Diego Padres, who were then a minor league team. And died in 1966, which I think is incredible. My grandfather lived such a long life. His brother died 59 years ago. And he died Sunday. And I just was thinking about Cliff and his career, as I often do. And in 1948, he got like 2 MVP votes.
Okay, yeah.
Which might have put him around 57th. I don't know.
Right.
You can vote for anybody, right?
Right.
But if I remember right, he finished ahead of Phil Rizzuto, which I kind of thought was cool.
All right.
Finished 32nd in 1948 for the American League MVP.
Well, we've got 2 sports cards watching over us here in this studio. One is your Uncle Cliff, and the other one is Joe DeLamielleure.
Yes.
Those are perched up
2 of the greats
near the clock there in
one's
our
in,
room.
One's in his Sports Hall of Fame. The other got 2 votes for the 1948 AL MVP and was my late grandfather's brother. Let's go to Matt here. Hi, Matt.
Hey, guys. How you doing? I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather.
Thanks.
I got a thought, and I know this might sound ridiculous on its face, but at least hear me out. Do you think Allen might have a Diggs problem? Not in the sense that, he wants him back on the team, but that it seems every time he plays a team that has Diggs on it now twice, the offense looks terrible. Not even just terrible. It looks like Allen is completely mentally discombobulated to the point where I watched the All-22 from the New England game, and I gotta say it was honestly stunning to see Allen. One, he had happy feet the entire game. He's leaving he's bailing on clean pockets where nobody's near him. Whereas if he would have stayed for another second or two, he'd have people coming wide open. He is missing easy throws and not taking throws that he's been taking for a year and a half now consistently, where they're giving him short throws to wide open receiver and he's waiting and waiting for something else, like he's trying to show off or something to Diggs and prove something.
I mean, you know this is a leap, right? You said it up front. You knew it when you said it up front.
I know it's a leap, but I mean it's twice in a row now. And it's not even that the offense is not just playing good, it's like they're completely discombobulated.
Well,
and
I mean,
Allen is a big reason why.
Maybe you're right. I'd have no idea if it's true. But I just couldn't sit here and honestly say that I think that that's a real thing. That Diggs is the problem. Diggs is the reason. I couldn't say it.
I can't even really get my head around the idea that a player who has accomplished what this player has accomplished in the league and the venues that he's had success in and all of the big spots that he's come through in. And I know there are spots where it hasn't happened for him, would be the least bit worried about Stephon Diggs standing on the other sideline. I just can't. I don't know that you're wrong either, but it sounds ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
to consider it.
I wouldn't want to say it out loud. Just either. I wouldn't want to say it out loud.
This is one of those ones that you say this sometimes. You want to try that out on your friends.
Ask someone else first.
Yeah, try it
but
out.
You never know what they're saying.
Try it out at the bar and then see if you want to call us with it. I don't know. I don't. Again, I don't know. But it would be really weird to me if that were a thing that would cause him. I think it's more not trusting guys that are to be open and the defense, and that's it.
Be great if you knew it was true. It'd be great for Diggs.
Yes,
because he would have a job forever.
Right.
He would. Anytime you're playing the Bills in a season, you would just go get Diggs.
Right.
All right. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll be right back. This is WGR. Mike Schopp for my friends at Paul Davis Restoration. These guys did great. Welcome back. You want to talk Bills with us? We're here. And even the Sabres, who start Thursday night against the Rangers, who play tonight. The Rangers at Pittsburgh, one of the 3 games here on opening night in hockey. 803-0550 is how to reach us. Let's go to Will next. Hi, Will.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Thank you, Will.
First time, long time. So I had a question about whether or not we should have gone for it on 4th down against the Patriots. It ended up reminding me of the Kansas City playoff game where we kicked the field goal to tie it and kind of felt like we're going to lose this game. And it felt like we're going to lose this game with the Patriots as well. Kind of felt like playing for the tie was a loss.
I think on 4th and 10, that's tough. You're talking about that, right? Late?
Yeah, it was 4th and 10. It was late. We just had that play that went to Shakir that there was like pass interference not called.
Yeah.
Again, I think I'd just rather it in Josh's hands, even though he wasn't playing great. I'd still want him giving us that shot to go up enough to win the game.
Yeah, I certainly get it. I certainly get it.
I
Thanks,
get it.
Will.
I don't agree at all.
I don't think I go on 4th and 10.
No. 4th and 5, you even then I might be prone to kick the field goal myself. But I think it's more of a conversation. You got just more options there.
4th and 5 would have been close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that I think I'd have a harder time being as definitive about.
Well, these are always fun, or they make you crazy. Not everybody loves these hypotheticals. 4th and 5, if not also 4th and 10, part of this point, why does the caller say, if we kick it, I know we're going to lose anyway? And maybe this is different 2 years ago. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not when you're playing Mahomes in the playoffs. It's, I don't trust my guys to stop New England from getting 40 yards. And what is that to say? I get that too. And they couldn't stop them, as it turns out.
I don't know who I trust to stop a team from getting in the field.
Ever.
I think any game I'm watching, I usually like, okay, there's time. You're gonna get in field goal range. Like it almost feels to me like if I don't get a sack, you're gonna get in field goal range, or if you don't take yourself out of it with penalties or something. It's not. I wonder what the success rate is on that drive. End of half, even you could work into it, but that's different than end of game. End of game, there's more desperation. Half, you still have a whole nother half to go. But
it's not 4 downs, though.
Right.
Like New England, the game is tied. If the Bills are up by a point after that field goal, it's harder to stop them because that's going to be 4 downs. The Patriots will have no choice but to go on 4th, which is a key ingredient to the whole, recipe when it comes to 4th down strategy. Yeah. But in a tie, like if they get to 4th and 5 and there's 2 minutes left, they're punting, I think. Because if they fail, they lose.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting.
When did I might have misheard the caller, but are we talking about the field goal they missed?
No.
When did they kick a field goal late to tie the Chiefs and then lose? In a playoff?
No, they missed the field goal.
Right, that's what I meant. Okay. We're talking about the one they missed in the divisional round. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I think so.
Don't kick that at all. Go for it instead. I got it, yeah.
Because if I make the field goal, I think I'm still going to lose.
Right.
Which is how he felt about Sunday night.
Okay.
That was a close call on Gonzalez, that 3rd down. You could have had a flag there. I got enough flags. Like, pass interference. You got one, I think, on the same drive that was big. I mean, last night even, one on Kansas City late. How about on that interception? Do you see the Kansas City interception that should have been interference? I mean, the Jaguars receiver that ball is intended for just gets, shot down by one Chiefs defender, and the other one makes the play.
Yeah.
It's such a hard thing right now in this sport. It's constant. If you look at any pass play, any contested catch, don't you think you could find contact?
Sure, almost always.
Almost always. So when do you decide to throw the flag and when do you decide not to? That's the thing about this sport. It's just like the randomness of that it can be tough to live with. Why is this interference and that not? Well, one reason is because it's going to decide the game. And is that a good reason?
Right.
Doesn't really sound like a good reason. Seems like a flag is a flag, but we know it isn't.
If we get interference there, they're still going to be hard pressed to run it all the way down. They could score a touchdown and take the lead and make New England have to get a touchdown to beat them. That would have been obviously ideal. Ideal would be to run it all the way down and score the touchdown and leave no time, but still. They would have been set up, 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line about?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Pretty good shape. You'd love their chances there.
Yes. Very much so.
But, that's how I think maybe other people are different. For me in this game, did I say this yesterday? Like, I said this about the Saints game, or if not also the Dolphins game, and this time I would have been wrong. With Allen, 20-10, things aren't coming easy. One guy's out there thinking it's because Diggs is in the same room and he's frazzled by that. Like, whatever wasn't going right Sunday night, I just never felt like they were going to lose. Like, these plays are going to work out. Interference on that drive, of course. It seems like everything always works out. He's so tough to beat. And that's why it's just such a huge thing for a team like the Patriots, I think, to win, because they're so tough to beat, especially here. When was Denver 2 years ago was their last regular season loss at home? And what had to happen that night?
Did a botch of field goal defense.
There was an interference call that set up the field goal from Russell Wilson, and then the field goal is missed, but there's 12. Think of the things that have to happen for the Bills to lose a home game to anybody. It just sort of takes this strange, impossible concoction of things.
Right, the Minnesota game.
Minnesota,
right? Quintessentially. Yeah. There it is. Stereo.
There it is. All right. Thanks, Will. Interesting question. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. This is WGR.
Season is underway. Just one game in action, though, of our 3 tonight. Florida's up on Chicago 2-1 at the end of the first. 8 p.m., Penguins in New York versus the Rangers. Then at 10:30, it's the Kings hosting the Colorado Avalanche. For the Sabres, they'll get their season underway on Thursday at home against the Rangers, who get their season underway tonight. Head coach Lindy Ruff did speak today. Goaltender Alexander Georgiev hit waivers after the team signed Colton Ellis. And then Owen Power was back at practice today, albeit in a non-contact jersey. But Ruff did say there is a chance he could be ready by Thursday. Paul Hamilton has more on practice today up at our website, WGR550.com. Off day for the Bills, though they did make some roster moves. Linebacker Balin Spector going to the practice squad. Spector was waived in August by the Bills with an injury settlement. Then we also had some trades, namely in the AFC North. A QB trade as the Browns send Joe Flacco and a 6th to the Bengals for a 5th. And the Ravens there making some moves, sending edge rusher Adolphe Owe and a 7th to the Chargers for safety Aloy Gilman and a 5th. While in baseball, Tigers-Mariners still in a weather delay due to inclement weather. And then at 8, Jays looking to sweep the Yankees in the Bronx. Shane Bieber, Carlos Rodon, they get the starts on the bump. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp.
It's nothing you did.
It's not you, it's me.
It's not you. It's you, but you didn't cross me.
And the Bulldog.
Why did I choose? Why did I just stay in school?
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
You know, I just want to mention this quickly. I brought up earlier on the show how my grandfather died on Sunday, and I tweeted a couple of words about him. And what's cool about this, I went back and forth on whether to do it because, you know, I'm not the type that everything going on in my life, you know, needs to be shown to you. But, you know, I thought I would say something, so I tweeted a picture of us and a few words about him. And what I like about it is lots of people that you never hear from.
Yeah, I saw
the tweet.
Some people who I follow. I think that's how it works. I wouldn't see all your replies, but a number of people who I do follow, I saw comment and send well wishes, and I like that. I like seeing the picture too, and I like that you mentioned Gunsmoke, which came up. Now you had told me about your grandpa already a day before, I think, but it came up yesterday anyway. As we were talking about this, the Dylan that was named after Corey Dillon, it turns out.
Right, Dylan Gabriel,
the Browns quarterback. Thank you. I couldn't remember who it was, and I thought Matt Dillon, the actor, and then I quickly pivoted to, or the sheriff on Gunsmoke was Sheriff Matt Dillon.
Gunsmoke, back-to-back days. Welcome to the show, Gunsmoke.
Yeah,
but just quickly,
and Matt Dillon.
So, I mean, I'm just not doing this for everybody because it's a lot of people who like the tweet and, you know, say nice things. But every so often, I'll just sort of look at the person who's done that, and maybe I know them or maybe I don't. And I like this one, a guy named Kevin, because, you know, I'll just sort of hover over the picture so I can see the bio. And in Kevin's bio, it says, "Don't DM unless you're dying." You know, that's a good policy, I think. The guy does not want anybody in his DMs. So he's put out the word. It's right up front. I'm not kidding. I think it's funny. It works. Hopefully it works for him. Don't DM me unless you're dying. I don't really need your message right now. That my voicemail could say that. But that sort of defeats the purpose of voicemail because if you're dying and you're leaving me a message, you know, it's going to be too late.
That might be tough, yeah.
It's going to be too late.
I'm trying to think about how often I've initiated DM conversations. I don't feel like it's
you look at mine here.
Something that I do. I guess it probably has been maybe someone who I'm trying to reach and I don't have any other way, like you or Zach or any of our other producers over the years don't have the number. Like, all right, I'll try this. So I'm sure it's happened. But I feel like, you know, in this job, you know, you're going to get, if you have it open, like I have mine open, you know,
I don't.
You're gonna hear from, you know, people here and there. And
I think mine are only available to people that we follow each other.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of it. Like, I don't have Joe Ostrowski's phone number.
Me either.
So anytime I need Joe Ostrowski, it's through DM. Sam and I are both. Sam just never puts his phone down. He's everything. He's everywhere at all times. Right. But like fan podcast links, we use DM most of the time. Like here's the link. And different people. I got a nice note from Greg Gabriel about my grandpa.
Oh, that's
just
nice.
Through DM.
Nice of him.
So
it's been a while since I talked to him. I like Greg.
So hopefully it doesn't rain in the Bronx.
Yeah,
I don't know what that looks like, but I'm totally building my night around Blue Jays Yankees. I decided that, is this the same for you with the Red Sox? You're always talking about the Red Sox, mostly like this. And, I can't claim the Blue Jays in the same way you can claim the Red Sox. I don't go, well, I kind of do, but I have taken long naps rooting for Toronto. Say what you want about this. Not everybody respects this. I get into them when they're good. Mm-hmm. When they're not, it's almost like they're not there. And I kind of think, and would you say the same? I kind of think that maybe this is the healthiest form of fan-team relationship. That, really, there's nothing we'll see what happens in the next 3 games. There's disappointment. But really, they never make me mad.
Right.
If they lose, the worst thing about their losing if they lose the series would be that it was to the Yankees. If they lost to Seattle, I wouldn't really care.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see them lose to the Yankees.
I do. I definitely I use that phrasing to you about the Red Sox when maybe after game it was after game 2 because game 1 they won and okay, got to win one more and we're advancing, and then they lost game 2. And I don't think we got into it on the air. I think this was when I walked in the door. You said, I feel like this is what a relationship with a sports team maybe should be like when you're all grown up, right? I like them. I follow them. Not enough to know everybody in the lineup when the playoffs started, I'll admit, because there's guys I'm like, who is that? Who Eaton? What? But I was invested after going there again and sort of, plugging back into it. All right, I can do this. I got a baseball team back. But when they lost, it was just like, oh, man, I would have liked them to keep playing, but, yeah.
Will you watch this series?
I'm okay.
Or is that annoying?
No. I'm very interested in what Toronto does, and I watch the Yankees. They're when they're on my streamer of choice, they're a go-to for me.
Yeah, me too.
I
love when they lose.
And a little bit of that, I would admit, is Paul and Sale and just the show. We're more inclined to talk about the Yankees because of those guys, our coworkers, and just because it's the Yankees are the most popular team in the town still that we work in.
Yep.
So if we're going to talk baseball, I like to know what's going on with the Yankees. So there's a little professional curiosity about them anyway.
They're always interesting, no matter what.
Right. There's drama. There's whatever.
Win or lose, they're always interesting. It's the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, Owen is very excited about the opening of the hockey season, so, I'll get home and we'll watch some hockey. But I'm going to want to get to the baseball game eventually, I think.
This point I'm making reminds me of you, and here comes another one that does. Confession. So the Jays won Saturday, 10-1.
Yeah.
And I ended up sort of following that game from a distance. I was on at a place I was at, but really couldn't watch it. Enjoyed, the updates. 10-1. All right, game 1. Cool. I knew that game 2 was Sunday. I knew there was no chance I would watch the game Sunday because I went to the Bills game, and that was kind of the whole day as that can be. So I'm just seeing on my phone, it's 13-2.
Right.
And I think maybe 13-7 is the final score Sunday. I'm all right, good. It wasn't until yesterday that I knew it was best of 5. I thought it was best of 7. I would have liked it more. I thought it was best of 7.
I'm telling you that you just informed me of that. I didn't.
You didn't know either?
I didn't.
I thought it was best. I bet the 4 series.
I didn't. The timing of the series beginning, on the weekend, Saturday, same thing Saturday. And I know there's other series going on, but I was out most of the day Saturday, and by the time I got to a TV at about, I don't even know, 5:30 maybe, 9-1 was the first score I saw of that game. So I didn't sit there and look at it enough to see the graphic that says whatever it'll say, because it often say, even the score bug will tell you best of 5, right? 2-0, best of...
Right, I never looked at it to know.
And so I haven't turned any of the... There's been football. Sunday, we did turn the Jays on early. We saw Guerrero hit the grand. John Gale was over, and his youngest son still lives in Toronto. So, and he lived in Toronto for many, many years. So he's a Jays fan. So we got that on, and it was comfortable enough that I was able to. I didn't even need to convince him. I'm like, can we go back? I'm going to go back to football because this is sideways here. Like, you're good. He's like, oh yeah, it's fine. But we did see that. But again, I'm only there for a moment. I just didn't know it was best of 5.
Didn't know. Because I'm just thinking, like, all right, 2-0, get one in New York. And they get one in New York, it's over. Right. Definitely get one in New York.
Right.
Either one, doesn't matter.
Right.
Just win one, it's over.
Right.
If you do that.
Yeah. No, I did not know that. I imagine I would have found that out tonight when I turned it on at some point, if I'm going to sit with it like I plan to at some point tonight.
And here is how the Blue Jays are, for me, like a team I like versus any other team. It's, okay, so, I got a fantasy team, whatever, follow the season as a baseball fan day to day. I'll probably be on that MLB app once a day just to see, like, what was the score, were the scores last night, what happened, is there a game today, just not just for the Blue Jays, just whatever, during the season. For no other team, or maybe even, I wouldn't say player, for no other team would I do this. Almost in all cases. Somebody on Twitter yesterday morning, didn't know until yesterday morning, said, wow, the Guerrero Grand Slam was a great moment. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I got to see it. So I go in, this one, I go into the app and they're my home team, favorite team, whatever. So, like, they're right up front, and there's the video of the Guerrero Grand Slam. Like, wow.
Yeah. I was so glad we caught that live. Like, we had just flipped into it, too. Like, and we just got there in time. I'm like, and I shouldn't say that. I saw the bases get loaded, whatever. We were there for that inning.
They took Fried out in the middle of the inning, I think. And so he was responsible for a couple. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Still.
Good news, 0% chance of rain.
0%
in the Bronx.
They don't know.
Cloudy, windy, 20 mile an hour winds, but it's 70 degrees, no precipitation.
That's a significant number. 20.
Yeah, I think so.
It would affect the Bills game.
Yeah, I don't know what direction it'll be blowing.
That's important
in the Bronx, but that's the forecast for the Bronx.
What do we want? In or out? 20 mile an hour wind. In or out? What's better for the Blue Jays? Out, they can score 13 runs again, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
It's Rodon tonight. He's hot and cold. What do you like?
I think
Judge
blowing out.
You say blowing out?
Yeah.
Guerrero's going to do it again?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, they're hitting like crazy.
They are.
10 runs, 13 runs, whatever. Yeah,
all the runs. All the runs.
Yeah.
The Yankees could do that right back, though.
Of course they could. Yeah.
Well, what do our lines look like here? 20 mile an hour winds.
I don't know. I haven't looked. I'm in a little bit of a timeout.
Oh no. Over under is 8 runs for the game. Bieber and Rodon.
How's Bieber been for that?
I don't know. Like I said, pretty casual.
Right, sorry. I'm sorry.
He was on the Bisons for a few
Sorry
games.
to ask you such a tough question.
I know. How was the pitcher?
I don't know either. That's why I'm asking.
I don't know.
I don't really know.
No idea. He got game 3.
Yep.
I mean, they didn't play in the first round, so they lined him up the way they wanted.
Right.
Although, don't ask me who pitched for them on the weekend, because I don't know that either. Gaussman, probably? Scherzer? I don't know.
I never saw a half inning where they were on the mound. I'm serious. I walked into the bar to get a round of beers. 9-1. Oh my God! I walked right back out with my drinks, and then Sunday we flipped in. Blue Jays were batting, bases loaded. Guerrero. All right, back to football.
Beautiful.
I never saw a Blue Jays pitcher on the mound.
No, they might not have even had to pitch in this game. They might not have even have bothered. They had to get to the next game. So let's just wrap it up. Mercy rule. How about last night's game? We did the reverse AFC Power Rankings, top of the show. Indianapolis won, by the way, is how that went. Where did we put Kansas City? Like 5? Can you see it?
I don't know, but I wanted to put them. No,
4.
4? That high? Yeah.
That low.
Yeah. Sure.
Jacksonville 5.
Yeah.
KC 4, Buffalo 3, Denver 2, Indy 1. That's a shuffling.
That is a shuffling. Yeah.
I mentioned to you, I think earlier, Davis Maddock on ADP Chasing this morning. Chiefs. He's my Chiefs guy, and he's like, I know they lost, but they're so back. Like that was yards per play, downfield shots.
Kelsey looked decent.
Like he loved them even though they lost.
Yeah.
Do you sort of feel that?
I get that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, on the heels of what they did the week before, which was like Worthy back and look at the offense and like they still don't have Rice yet. Right. No, I totally get that. And the Chargers lost, so they're not, they've already got a head-to-head against them, but they haven't played Denver yet, right?
Right.
So it's still kind of there for them, I think. They're not in that bad a shape, really, I would say.
Because LA has lost 2 now.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
Denver already lost 2.
Right. So they're just a game back now and still have the 2 games with Denver. So,
and they have their next 3 at home. Their next road game is here, Kansas City, in Week 9, which is also the Bills' next home game. But home to Detroit Sunday night, Vegas in a rare 1 o'clock Kansas City game, and then Washington on the following, what is that? That's Monday night. That's their next 3 games, Chiefs. Do you think they'd take 2 wins?
Yes.
Detroit, Vegas, Washington?
Yeah. I think so. That would leave them
5-4.
5-4?
I think no.
5-4 coming here.
Yeah. I think no.
Yeah.
I think they might, I don't want to say need, but be thinking about sweeping those 3 games. If they beat Detroit, you'd think they'd beat the other 2. Or is Washington that good?
I don't think Washington's that good.
It's a pretty easy win they had, isn't it? Where they were down 10-0 to the Chargers and won 27-10. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that game either. So I'm not seeing anything, am I? Who's pitching for the Blue Jays?
Sound like
Washington Chargers. What am I doing?
I don't even know.
I watched last night. What am I doing, though? That's what going to a Bills game does to me.
Right.
Like a night game. It's the whole day. Like, it's at least the late games.
I'm still recovering from the Miami game. It was a few Thursdays ago now. I'm still...
I can respect that.
I'm exaggerating a little.
A little. I got to watch my curling. I've got to get my 50 lineups in.
All right.
Maybe make an occasional bet. Maybe talk to my family. I mean, there are other things.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I found out today that our Hulu lapsed.
Your Hulu lapsed.
My Hulu. Our Hulu. I don't know. I don't know. The only thing I've ever really watched there with any regularity is The Bear, and I watched 3 episodes of the latest season of it. And I don't know. Did we talk about this? I didn't.
You didn't like it.
I didn't love it. I think I said I want to watch it because I care about all these characters, so I want to keep going. But I went to go in there this morning because it was raining, so I was riding the bike in the basement, and it said you no longer have an active subscription. And I went, I'm just going to close this up and not say anything to anyone else in the family and see if we can just live without Hulu. And that means I'm sacrificing however many more episodes of this season there are of The Bear.
And you never watched Only Murders, right?
No, but that's an Apple thing. I think.
No, it's also Hulu.
Okay. I feel like I could access that through. Anyway.
Well, now it's season 5.
Yeah.
And I've liked that show, but it's not, for me anyway, it's not funny anymore. Like shows, this often happens.
That's what these first 3 episodes of The Bear were like. There was almost nothing was funny about it, which, okay, fine. You're changing. But
you still have to make the time commitment.
Yeah. There's just so much other stuff.
I don't mind. Like, I am somebody who can drop it.
Right,
I did that with Breaking Bad.
That's what I'm saying here. Like, I don't care enough to ask my wife, what happened to the Hulu subscription? Because I know that's going to mean another $12.99 a month or whatever. If I don't say anything, maybe no one will notice, and I won't have 45 of these subscriptions anymore, which I think might be good. I don't know if there's 45. I'm sure there's not, but whatever.
Oh, I meant to bring this up. I don't know if I have enough time here. I'm just looking at my notes as we're talking about Hulu
Sorry, I squeezed Hulu
and TV.
Although it prompted this thought.
Did you see, it's going to be not enough time, but I've already started down the road. Did you see the Spot Track tweet of the Browns cap hits at quarterback this year?
I did. I did.
They have 8 quarterbacks with cap, numbers that are like, they're responsible for.
Right.
Cleveland.
Like 8,000 on Kenny Pickett, I saw.
8,000 on Kenny Pickett.
Imagine that on a salary cap spreadsheet, $8,000. It's like a dime.
Working our way up. Kenny Pickett, $8,000. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, $171K. Bailey Zappi, $315. He's on their practice squad. Shadur Sanders, of course, $955. Flacco, dead cap, $999. He was traded. Gabriel, who is their starter at Pittsburgh this week, $1.1 million. Dead cap Jameis Winston. How long ago was that? Was just last year, I guess. $2.2 million. And then more than by far everybody else combined on this list. Deshaun Watson, $35.9 million on the PUP list. Everybody else combined is like $6 million maybe. He's 35. Spot Track on Twitter updated with the Flacco trade, 2025 quarterback cap hits.
May there be a lifetime curse on the houses of the Browns for that trade and that contract. And I don't care about the guaranteed money. That whole episode was gross.
Ross Tucker joins us every Tuesday. We talked about the Bills' loss, Philadelphia's loss a little bit, and more with Ross. Always fun. That conversation is coming your way next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.